Okay, good evening everyone. Just let me adjust this light and then we can get started. I hope everyone has had a lovely Monday. It's good to be back. I haven't been on for a few days. I decided to take some time off and spend a little bit of time with family, as you do. I'm just going to get the best light here. Let me just adjust this light a little bit. That's a little bit better. Okay. Hello, Emma. So I'm just going to wait until a few people jump on. And I'm going to talk about some changes that I'm making to my lives, especially to my regulars that usually watch my lives and know how I usually do lives. I normally do live readings by picking 8 people, and I always used to do card of the day as well. But I'm changing all of that just because I want to try and make it fair to everyone that watches my videos or my lives, even though choosing the 8 names was quite fair because it was random. I wanted to change that up a little bit for you guys, just because I do appreciate all of the follows, all of the shares and all of the likes every time that I've gone live. You have been absolutely amazing. So to make it a lot easier, I've decided my card of the day is now going to be a profile post. So I started that today. You'll see the card of the day on my profile. I'm still going to be doing my profile mini readings on the days that I'm not doing lives. So for those that are new, the profile mini readings on my profile here on TikTok, I have a saved post or a pinned post that has a readings list. If you ask for a card on that post, you get added to my readings list, which I keep all the names in my little book here. And when I have spare time, I go through every name in that list and I do little mini readings on my profile. And even if you manage to get a reading tonight and you still want another card, anyone can put their name on that readings list on my profile. Again, my profile readings list as well as my live readings are all free because they are mini readings. Obviously, if you want an extended reading, which is an hour-long reading, they're not free. You can find all the information on them on my website. I have a link to my website on TikTok. Hello, Joe Foster. Okay, let's see. Hello, Bajinda. So we have a few people jumping on and joining us. So, for those that don't know me, got a squeak in my voice there. For those that don't know me, I am the Mystic Witch, also known as Lady Moonlight. Though I'm registered blind, I have always had good third eye vision. So I use that third eye vision to be able to read the cards, connect with spirit and give little readings. They always say, don't they, that when you lose one sense, you gain another. So I've been blessed with the gift of second sight since longer than I can remember. Hello, Jasmine. How are you? Hello, Shosho. Lovely to see people. Yes, I am. I'm an elder crone traditional witch. So yes, very much pagan. Also starseed and indigo child. Oh, I'm glad you're doing good. Lovely to see new faces coming on. So Before, when I used to do my lives, I used to pick 8 names. I'm not going to do that anymore. What I'm going to do is I have my angel cards, which is my angel healing cards, which is the ones I have been drawn to use tonight for individual readings. But for yes, no questions that anyone has, just random people that I happen to actually see the readings, I also have my little book of answers where I usually just tap the book and ask your question, yes or no question. So my readings, instead of choosing 8 names, I'm just going to choose names that come up. If you're wanting a reading, just put reading in the comment and just keep repeating it. And if I see your name, I'll do a little mini card reading. Or if you've got a question, yes or no question, just ask that as well. And I can consult my little answer book, whichever is easier for everyone. Okay, Barbara Kelly. Oh, okay. We'll start with Barbara Kelly, seeing the first one. So Barbara wants a reading, so I'm just going to shuffle the cards for Barbara. And then after I've done Barbara's reading, I'll look again to see if there's any names. Obviously, I can't see everybody's comments while I'm shuffling and reading. So after Barbara's reading, I'll just look again and just keep asking for a reading. Oh, bless. I can't always see the comments, so I'm just going to, when I'm picking a card, I'm just going to see what name draws me. That's how I kind of work, because I can't see comments or unless I look really, really closely at the screen. But I will get round to as many people on this live as possible. Anyone that doesn't get a reading can go to my profile. I have a free readings list there, and if you put your name down to be added to my readings list on there, everybody gets a reading there. Oh, lovely seeing everybody asking, hello everyone, hello. Okay, so let's do the first reading. Okay, so honey, it's fairies is the card for you, and you have a strong bond with the fairies, and your life purpose involves helping Mother Nature. Now, even if you don't relate to that message, the fairies are letting you know that maybe it is time to sort of take time out of a busy day. You're doing too much for other people around you, but you're not doing enough for yourself. When this card usually comes into a reading, it's saying it's time for you time. It's time to connect with nature. It's time to do a little bit of grounding. The way we can do grounding is to just walk, spend some time in the garden or a walk in the park, on the beach. I live next to a beautiful large forest, and that's my happy place. That's my grounding place. I like to walk and commune with the trees and the spirits there and the wildlife there. So it's time to have some self-love for you, because you've been doing everything for everybody else. I don't know if that makes sense for you, but it seems like you've just been doing so much for everyone else, and the last person that you're concentrating on is yourself. Oh, thank you, Joe. You too. So I don't know if you can relate to that. Thank you for the likes. So, Ty, this card is basically all about self-love. Oh, Barbara, I'm so glad you can. Do you know what? We do, don't we? We give so much to everybody else because when you have a good heart, and I feel you have a good heart. There's a lady with you in spirit. Do you have a grandmother in spirit at all, Barbara? Because there is a lady very closely with you in spirit, and I feel she's a grandmother figure. She's coming forward as a grandmother figure. Thank you. Well, it's your grandmother that is asking you to take more time for you. You're doing too much. Way too much. And she says you've always been that way. You've always put other people first. It's time for you to take some time out. She wants you to take you time out. She said life's too short. If there's any lesson or if there's any message that she can bring you, sweetheart, it's the fact that you need to take some time for you. You're caring too much for everybody else. You're busy doing things for the family, for all your friends, etc. And from time to time, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, do you know what? I need to have some me time. I'm not saying no for good. I'm not saying no, I can't help you. What I am saying is that I need time for me. I need time, and even if it's a day break, a day away, a day going somewhere to the beach or whatever, take a weekend away. When's the last time you had your hair done, got your nails done, spent you time? Probably not in a long time, right? Is what this lady is saying. Your grandmother is sending you so much love right now because she says you need it. You give everybody else so much love, time, and attention. It's time that you gave yourself some love. Hello, Joe. I am pagan. I'm going to do as many people for readings as I possibly can. Thank you for the roses, everyone. I will do as many readings as I can, but this one is for Barbara. First one is for Barbara. Barbara, know that your grandmother is sending you all this love, all right? It's time to work with the Fae. It's time to get back to nature, but more importantly, it's time to get back to you, all right? Because what good are you to everyone when you are burning the candles at both ends and doing everything for everyone else and exhausting yourself? You're not going to be good to anyone. So I hope that helps, sweetheart. Okay. Mary Olivia, will you get face-to-face closure with Carter? I can certainly ask the Oracle book. Okay, you need to take some time for yourself. All right? And I get that, okay? When we're looking for something, when we're looking for a closure, when we're looking for an ending for something, it's not coming as quickly as we want, or you're wondering whether you're having a face-to-face. It's time to concentrate on you first. Whether it's a face-to-face closure or whether it's just a non-face-to-face closure, will the closure come? Always. Where there is beginning, there's always closures. When? Spirit can't say when, because spirit time and earth time are totally different. However, the most important thing right now is for you to take care of yourself. Number one first. Okay. Yay, okay, we've got Jasmine. I'm going to do Jasmine next. Because, as I said, for those that are just joining me, while I'm dealing the cards and shuffling them, I can't always see the comments because I'm registered blind. So once I've done a reading, I just have a look at the comments, and it's the first one that I'm getting drawn to that gets a reading. It's kind of the way I work. Hello, Colette. I'm doing good. How are you? Oh, I'm glad everybody would love a reading. I'm going to try and get through as many as I can. Let's do Jasmine's one first. Let me shuffle these cards. Lovely to see you here, Colette. I've changed the way I've done my readings, Colette. I don't do 8 anymore. What I'm going to do is going to try and do a little bit more quicker readings, but just randomize the readings, just whoever I'm drawn to. Just to kind of make it a little bit fairer. So, let's see what Jasmine card we have for Jasmine. Okay, Jasmine, you've got the ear chakra. Okay, so when the ear chakra comes into play, we all have different chakras. And the ear is all about listening, paying attention. It's about quieting the mind and able to allow messages from the divine, messages from spirit to come through. I feel that your mind's always racing, right? You know, you might struggle to sleep sometimes because you're always, you know, you go to bed at night and you're worrying about the world, its problems, all the rest of it, what you've got to do tomorrow, what you've got to do the next day, what have you not done today that needs to be done. I don't know if that resonates with you, but I just see a busy mind. And it's really, really hard to settle your mind and to just get that mind settled, if that makes sense. Yeah. And this is what the ear chakra is all about. There are so many messages from spirit and loved ones. Now, there's a father figure in spirit. Now, I don't know whether he's your father or whether he's a grandfather, but he's obviously, if he's a grandfather, he's also been a father, but I feel he's more of a father figure. Does that make sense? But he's telling me he's also a grandfather. Primarily a father, but he's also a grandfather. Okay, thank you. Well, he's with you, all right, and he's sending so much love. Have you been thinking about this gentleman lately? Because he says, amongst all the rabble that's going on in here, he hears you. And there's a lot of things I feel that you've maybe wanted answered and haven't been able to get answers, or you may be seeking answers about this gentleman. Okay. Well, he's saying he is trying his best, sweetheart, to answer your question, all right? One of them is he okay? Yes, he's absolutely okay. He's with you every single day. Every single day. But what he's saying is he has been trying to get messages to you through the ear chakra, right? So the only way he can get those messages to you is when your mind is clear. So he's wanting you to work on calming the mind and clearing the mind. So one way that I always teach to clear a busy mind is to do the one thing that the brain cannot multitask with, and that is just breathe. And you might think that's a strange thing to actually say, what's breathing got to do with an overactive mind? But it has a lot to do with an overactive mind. Also making sure that your other primary communicative chakras are unblocked, i.e. your crown and your third eye, as well as your ear, so that you can make maximum use of the messages that you're missing currently because of this active mind. So what he's saying is breath, all right? I have to teach the breath. Very bossy, your dad. But anyway, breathing, just breathing. How many people, when we are stressed, they'll say, calm down, just breathe. Right? We hear it all the time, right? Just breathe. Count to 10, just breathe. And there's a reason people say that. It's because it's one of the first and foremost things that we can do to calm our mind. But a lot of us are shallow breathers. We're not breathing properly. And we need to deep breathe. So to do this last thing at night and first thing in the morning, and as many times during the day as you can remember, you're going to breathe in through your nose and hold it for 5. Now, as you breathe in through the nose, place your hand on your tummy. And when you're breathing in, make sure that your tummy is expanding like a balloon. All right, you don't want to be coming in. A lot of us breathe in and we pull our tummy in. And when we breathe out, we pull our tummy out. It's the opposite way round. And the reason for that is you need to get as much oxygen into your lungs and through your bloodstream as you possibly can. And when we're breathing out, we should be pulling in our lungs and tummy. So in, the tummy goes out. Breathing out, the tummy goes in. And what that does is when you're breathing in, the oxygen comes in. When we're breathing out, we're pushing toxins out. We're pushing all that carbon monoxide, all the toxins that our body doesn't need, we are pushing out. Counting each breath in and each breath out for 5 means that your brain has to stop thinking and start counting. It can't do both. So when you're taking that breath in through the nose, you're going to go in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to blow out through the mouth for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to keep doing that. You're going to concentrate on just counting 5 in, 5 out. If your mind starts to wander, take it straight back to the count. 5 in, 5 out. With practice, you will start to automatically, consciously breathe naturally enough to calm the mind down. It works every time. So the second thing, how to clear your third eye and your crown chakra. Our middle fingers on each hand are our power fingers. They're our energy fingers, spiritual fingers, whatever you want to call them, our powerhouse. When we're doing Reiki, we make sure that the first port of call is that our power fingers are connected and we connect the others. When we are praying, you are automatically putting your hands together in prayer, right? Your power fingers are connected. That's your power fingers. Your spiritual side is your left side. So healers put healing in with the left and we take the toxins out with the right. So what you need to do is you need to take your middle finger of your, and anyone can try this even when I'm demonstrating it, and you'll see it works. You take your middle finger of your left hand and you place it on your third eye. Your other middle finger you place on your crown. And you're just going to gently do butterfly taps. And you can close your eyes while you do this. And sometimes you might see colours when you're doing this through your closed eyes. And the colours will let you know what chakras are getting unblocked. If it's purples, your third eye needs unblocked. If it's white, you're unblocking the crown. Blue is the throat. Green is the heart. And then, of course, you've got the solar plexus, which is the yellow, the sacral, which is orange, and the root, which is red. Now, if you do this 5 minutes before you go to bed at night, it's going to calm down the mind. It's going to open the chakras. Combine it with that powerful breathing. You have cleared all your chakras. You've cleared your ear chakra for listening. I want you also to keep a dream journal by your bed because your father is going to leave you dreams. Now, the importance of a dream journal is, first thing, as soon as your eyes are open in the morning, write down whatever you remember from your dreams. Even if the dream does not make sense, write it down. And then what I want you to do is keep doing that every morning. Don't get out of bed, put the kettle on, make the coffee, and then try and remember your dreams. The minute your feet hit the floor, your brain is automatically on what are we doing next. Okay, I'm up, I'm awake. We need a shower, we need to get the coffee on, whatever. Your dreams are gone. The best way to journal dreams is the moment your eyes are open, grab your pen and notebook that should always be by your bed and jot down anything you remember, even if it doesn't make sense. Once a week, read back your dreams. You are going to be blown away at the messages that those dreams carry. All right? Anyone that does this and they don't understand their dreams, anyone is free to message me with their dreams and I can interpret their dreams. But your father wants to answer all of your questions. He says you've got so many questions for him and he has been answering, but because your chakras are blocked, he needs to make sure that you're going to be able to receive these messages. He's okay. He's well. Now he's saying, I don't know if he had an illness or if he was sick on the earth plane, but the message that he's wanting to get through to you tonight is he's not sick anymore. He said, when you pass over, all sickness, all pain, all ailments, everything goes. All right? He's also saying the things that you regret not saying, don't worry about them because you thought about them. He knows. All right? So the things that you worried about, I wish I had told him this, or I wish I'd said this, or I wish I had time to do this, or I wish I'd had time to tell him how much I love him. He knew. All right? The fact, remember, our thoughts carry as words. All right? Spirit can hear our thoughts, even the silent ones. Right? So he hears. So when you're saying to yourself, I wish he had said this, I wish I'd said that, or did he know I was there? Yes, he knew you were there, if that makes sense. So I hope that helps. Oh, thank you, Pixie. Yes, yes. If you don't remember your dreams, there are two reasons that you don't remember your dreams. One, your chakras are definitely blocked, right? and that's the first port of call. You need to unblock the chakras, all right? Now, you can do the same thing with your power fingers. So you can start, for example, crown and third eye and tap. Then you could just go down to, by doing your throat and your heart and tap. Solar plexus, which is just under the rib cage, and your sacral, which is at the belly button, and tap. And then finally your root chakra. You can unblock your chakras just by doing that gentle tap motion before you go to bed at night. That is going to help to clear all of your chakras, as well as doing that breathing routine. Remember, when you breathe in, your tummy should be coming out, or your rib cage should be, you should be filling your rib cage and your tummy with air. When you're breathing out, you should always breathe out through the mouth, and you should always pull in your tummy and rib cage. Slow breaths are better than short breaths, because as you're taking 5 slow breaths in, you're getting maximum oxygen through your body. When you're taking 5 slow breaths out, you're making sure you're exhaling all the toxins out of your body. So, first point of call, unblock your chakras. Second point of call is deep breathing to relax the mind. The second thing to remember when you can't remember your dreams is keeping that dream journal, and the minute that you open your eyes, anything that you remember from your dreams, write it down as soon as your eyes are open. Don't wait till you get up and put the kettle on or jump in the shower or have that first cup of coffee, because chances are if you do that, you're going to miss any dream opportunities. So I hope that helps, Colette. Okay. Okay, Paula with the red hearts. I'm going to do a reading for you, honey. As I said, I will try. I'm going to be here for a few hours, so I'm going to get as many readings in as possible. So anyone that doesn't get a reading tonight, you can still, and even the ones that have had a reading tonight, you can always go to my profile page. I have a pinned post on there, and just simply ask for a card on there. I add you to a readings list, and when I'm not live, I go through that readings list and do little mini readings on my profile, and you get tagged in on your reading on there, and they are free as well. Paula, you're more than welcome. Terry Johnson, thank you for the roses. You're next. Okay. I always appreciate the gifters, so thank you so much, Terry. I'm actually going to jot that down, because when I'm reading, names go out. Terry Johnson. Okay. So let's do Paula's one first. But I will get as many readings in as possible, folks. Okay. So you have you asked your angels for help with this? All right. A lot of the times, I feel that you have been helping everyone else again, but you don't like asking people for help yourself. You'd rather try and muddle through with it, because you don't want to be a burden on anyone, right? You don't mind helping others. If people have a problem and they come to you with a problem, you're quite openly happy to help out wherever. But when it comes to asking others for help or asking others for advice, you kind of draw inward. Does that make sense? You're kind of always going more on the defensive, putting those blocks up, right? Because part of you doesn't want to be a burden on anyone, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm glad it makes sense. So when this card comes, it's asking you to take time and ask your question to the universe. Ask your angels, your deities, whoever you pray to, whoever you ask help to, and even just asking the universe your question, right? You're never opposing or imposing on the universe. The universe is always listening. It wants us to ask it for help. It wants us to ask it questions. Our loved ones in spirit, our angels, guardian angels, they're all waiting for you to ask them questions. But a lot of the time we forget about that, right? And we try and work it out ourselves because we don't want to be a burden on anyone. There are all of your questions are ready to be answered by spirit, but you just need to ask them. Because at the end of the day, loved ones in spirit, angels, our deities, they cannot just randomly answer our questions if it's against our free will. All right? I remember one lady said to me many months ago, she had been waiting, desperately waiting for a message from her mum, and it never ever came. But she never ever asked. She just hoped and prayed that there would be a message coming through. And when she got her reading, it was very similar to this card. And it basically said, did you ask for it? Did you ask for the answers? Because they can't give us anything unless we ask. So Spirit are waiting for you to ask your questions, all right? They want to help you with your problems. And believe me, you've got a lot of problems going on. But you're just not wanting to burden anyone else. So you've been trying to muddle them out on your own, all right? And there's a situation where I think you're in two minds about something, all right? The situation that you are maybe debating about, it's like, do I go this way or do I go that way, if that makes sense, all right? And it's like the head is saying go one way, but the gut is saying no, go that way. And you're just at the crossroads, kind of just hanging around. It's a bit like the hangman situation, that you're just hanging around, just sitting on the fence, not knowing which direction to go in. The head sounds good, but so does the intuition, right? Follow your gut. Always, always, always follow your intuition over your head. Remember, we only have a human mind, right? And our human mind isn't always communicating with the spiritual energies. But our intuition is our guiding system, right? It is our spiritual source. It's our spiritual core. Every living creature on this earth has an intuition, right? They have that gut intuition. It's their homing system. Animals instinctively always follow their intuition. Us humans are a bit more stubborn and complicated, right? We sometimes think the head sounds more exciting than following our intuition. But in your case, it's asking you to follow your gut instinct to find out which path you take. The path that your intuition is asking you to take, that's the right one. So disregard what's going on in the head. Thank you, Tamara. Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad, Paula. Time to ask for help. All right? Now, there are two ladies with you in spirit. Can you take two ladies? I feel one is an auntie figure and there's another one who I feel is a grandmother. But these two ladies seem to know each other. Does that make sense? This auntie and this grandmother know each other very well, but they're very much with you. Hi, Jojo. So if that makes sense, both of these ladies, both your auntie and both your grandmother are with you. And they just want to send your love. All right? I feel that they're coming together. I don't know if that was one of your questions as to whether they were together. Right? But if it was, that's why they've come through together rather than separately. Is united force, just to let you know, hey, the gang's all here kind of thing. All right? So your auntie and your grandmother wanted you to know they're both okay, they're both well, they both send you love. But more importantly, they felt it was more importantly to come through together. Oh, Jess Whitefield, thank you so much for the roses. I'm going to write your name down because the ones that give roses, I do appreciate. Jess Whitefield. Okay. So I hope, Paula, that has brought you some help that you needed today. And I feel that, sometimes when we can't or we don't want to ask people around us for help, the next best thing is asking the universe or asking our loved ones or asking our angels for help. They will always help. Oh, bless. Yes, I'm going to give everyone that I can a reading. I'm going to go to Terry Johnson first because one, she gifted some roses, and two, there's something about Terry. And I'm often drawn to the names that I should read for. I just go with my intuition on this one. Normally, I do 8 longer readings when I used to do my lives, but I felt shorter readings and as much information in the shorter readings is going to help everyone tonight. Okay. So I will try and get through as much people as possible. Okay, Sarah Hyde, thank you so much for the finger heart. Obviously, I don't see all of the gifters because I am registered blind, but the ones that I do spot down, I will write down. Even the non-gifters will get readings as well. Okay, Nene Andrea. I'm drawn to you as well, so I'm going to write that name down, Nene Andrea. Okay, so do we still have Terry here? Terry Johnson. Because I feel there is a gentleman in spirit coming through very, very strong for you. I don't know if you can place this gentleman. He's not saying who he is at the minute. But as he's coming through, I can smell pipe smoke. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. Hello, Terry. Is there a gentleman in spirit with you? He was a pipe smoker. As he came through this very, very strong sense of tobacco. Like pipe tobacco. So this gentleman loved his pipe. Didn't smoke it all the time, but it was one of his very few pleasures. Okay. Did he always dream about smoking a pipe? There's a connection. Although he loves smoking, the rollies, yeah. Why is he showing me this old pipe? Did he have somebody's pipe? Maybe a pipe was handed down to him. I'm not sure why he's showing me this old pipe. Okay. Could be your granddad. All right. I see a young boy in spirit as well. Now, whether he's ancestral young boy, but I feel this young boy has been in spirit for a while. He's not a baby. He's a young boy. I see a young boy in spirit. Hello, Rochelle. I'm being shown this young boy, and he's kind of like got the little long grey socks and the little shorts. Sort of black. I see him with black hair, but he has got like, it's like he's dressed for school, but he also played with shorts on. And I feel that one of the reasons that he had shorts is because if they gave him long trousers, he had a hole in them. He would put holes in them. So when the weather was good, he was always in shorts. It doesn't matter if you can't take, hello Rosie, it doesn't matter if you can't take the little boy in spirit, all right? It could be an ancestor or somebody on your family tree that lost a young lad, and I feel it was in an accident, all right? He passed over before his time. Yeah, I feel it's an ancestor. Hello, Emma. So he's just acknowledging that he is somewhere on your family tree, all right? And I feel that the man with the pipe could well be the grandfather, because I see him with a cap, all right? And he's saying when he looks down on everyone now, he says, oh my goodness me, it's a different world from his days, is what he's saying. So I feel that the gentleman that came through with that strong smell of tobacco or pipe tobacco was definitely your granddad. So he is looking down on you. The message that they want to give you is shield yourself, all right? Protect yourself from harsh or fear-based energies by envisioning a balloon of light surrounding you, all right? Whether you realize it or not, you get affected by other people's energies, other people's emotions, right? You could be happy as the day is long, and somebody that is quite negative can come into your life and sit there and say, oh, I've had a rough day today. Or somebody that is not very, like enemies, we all have them, right? People that come to us as friends and we find out later on that they weren't friends. They were just envious enemies. I call them trolls, but whatever you want to call them. But when a negative energy comes around you, it can suddenly change your mood from upbeat and happy to suddenly, ugh. Does that make sense? Yeah. And this is because you're very empathic, all right? You're very spiritually connected. And because you're spiritually connected, it means you're going to pick up on everybody's energies. You hate crowds, right? If you're in like a busy shopping center, it's like, where's the exit? This is way too much busy for me. I'll come back when it's quiet. Or if you're standing in a queue, you kind of stand for about 2 minutes and then think, you know what, I'll go to the next shop and come back rather than stand in a busy queue, because anxiety starts to build. And you've never really known why that is. It's because you're empathic. You're picking up everybody's energy around you. Yeah. And empaths are very like that. They can be around positive people all day long. Absolutely all day long, right? If somebody's coming into your day, Terry, and they are brightening your day and filling you with laughter and joy and fun, you could be with that person 24/7. But somebody comes with that negative energy, or that I'm your friend really with a false smile. You can see through that false smile a mile away. And it's like quickest exit, right? You can only stay around these people for a very, very short time before it's like it's either fight or flight, and you choose flight all the time. Yeah. And this is what it's saying. You need to shield yourself from those that make you feel anxious. And one really good tip to do, and I do it all the time, I'm very aware of people's energies. When I'm on social media, if somebody comes into my lives or whatever with a negative, it's an instant block. Not having it. I just don't mess around. Same with my DM box. Anybody comes into my DM box and they're negative, they're gone. I don't even tell them that they're gone. Yeah, exactly. And this is because you are very, very connected to spirit, and a lot of people that feel other people's energies. So, one thing that you can do, if you know you're going to be in a busy situation and you can't avoid that busy situation, right? Oftentimes it's work, or standing in a playground full of kids and moms, etc., right? That's the most nerve wracking ever. Or even standing in that busy shop queue. One way you can do that is visualize this glass ball surrounding you. There is no way in, there is no way out. You're in the middle of this ball. Wherever you go, the ball goes with you. This ball is filled to the brim of golden white light. You can see out, you can still touch things on the outside. Negative people, negative energies cannot penetrate that ball. You are safe while you are in that ball. So a lot of the times, for example, when I'm in a busy shopping centre, I bring out my imaginary glass ball and I surround myself. While I'm in that glass ball, nothing negative you're basically putting a shield up. It's an invisible shield that only you know. All right? Takes practice to visualize it, but once you practice and you visualize that shield, it's going to help immensely. Stress beads are also great. I use pagan stress beads all of the time, and it's just a bunch of beads. I make them myself. I've got some of my stress beads, etc., on my website. Not on my website, on my profile, that I make and put healing energy in. But stress beads help as well, because you can put your set of beads on and touch the beads in a clockwise direction all the way around, and basically say, cancel that negativity, cancel all negativity, cancel all negativity. In repeating that, you're doing exactly that, cancelling all negativity. All right? So it's time to avoid all the negative Nancy's. and just surround yourself with the positive ones. And on the occasions where you can't avoid the negatives, put that shield up. Oh, thank you. I also make individual ones as well. So if you've got any particular like crystals that you like, I can make them to order as well. So I hope that Okay, Tamara, if it's a yes or no question, I can answer a yes or no question. Oh, thank you, Nene. Okay, Tamara, if you give me your yes or no question, I can consult my little book. In answer to Terry, your dad was with your granddad. Does that make sense? Your dad was with your granddad, but you let your granddad do all the talking. And yes, he did. Okay, I'm going to do Tamara's question next. Tamara, what? Is Anderson my grandpa? Okay, let me just see. For Tamara, is Anderson Tamara's granddad? Okay, the reply is dive in. Now, what that is saying is often when we don't know if somebody is our genuine granddad or not, or our genuine dad, sometimes it's a case of doing a lot of homework, right? And delving into the family tree. Start with the family that you already know for definite, i.e. your mom and your dad, right? If you know exactly who your mom and dad are, then, or you know, if they are your birth mom and dad, start there, right? And do a family tree. Start a family tree. Your mom and dad will have birth records, marriage certificates, etc. You start with that, right? Because those very records can tell you who their dads, who their moms were, who your granddads, your grands, and your great grandmothers are. My mother found my great grandmother by doing just that, because nobody knew anything about my great grandmother who died in the 1800s. And nobody had any answers for her. So she started right at the beginning with her own mum and dad and went through birth records, death records, because you'll find a vast amount of information on there. All right, because obviously with your mum and dad, their birth records will show their mum and dad, i.e. your gran and your granddad. That's what the dive in means. Okay, Suzanne has sent roses, so I'm gonna thank you, Suzanne, for the roses. I'm gonna jot Suzanne's name down because she's sending an awful lot of roses, so thank you for the roses, Suzanne. But Terry, even though your dad passed away last year, right? It's still a year's still quite new to your dad, which is why he's letting the granddad do all. That's why he let the other people take all of the readings for you, if that makes sense. He's still finding his bearings, all right? Doesn't mean say he's not with you. Of course he's with you, right? And he sends you so much love. But he's just saying, bear with him, right? He's still trying to work things out on the other side. Doesn't mean say he's not with you though, because he is with you every single day. So I hope that that answers your question. Okay. Jess Whitefield. Have we still got Jess? Because I'm going to do Jess. Just because I'm going to try and do everyone. I know there's so many people asking for readings, and I will honestly try and get as many as I can in. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 names that I'm kind of really strongly drawn to, and then I'm going to just do random ones after that. Okay, so do we still have Jess Whitefield? I don't know if we still have Jess. Obviously, if you've got a lot of people and I shout out the names that I've written down and they're no longer here, I'll skip to the next one. Nanny Edry, I'm sure I've got you down. Yeah, I've already got you down, honey. Jess Whitefield or Whitfield. Do we still have Jess Whitfield? Don't know if we still have Jess. Okay, I'm going to move on just now to, who's next? Sarah Hyde. Do we still have Sarah Hyde? I don't know if we still have. Just got so many people coming up. Okay. Wow, we've got so many questions. Okay, we've got Jess here. Okay. Right. Comments are going up the screen so fast, everyone. So if I do miss, okay, I'm going to go back to Jess because Jess is here. Okay. If we could slow the comments down while I'm doing Jess's, because I do miss people's comments. Okay, let's do Jess. It's very difficult to keep up with everybody's readings requests. Like in 2 seconds, there was about 60 comments, so it's impossible for me to catch everybody's comments. So bear with me. Let's do Jess's, and then the comments can start going up the page. Otherwise, I'm going to miss everybody's comments. Thank you, Claire. I've had those fairies for a long, long time. Very connected to the fae. Love my fairies. This summer I built our little garden, put little fairies everywhere in my garden. So I've got little lit up fairy garden and stuff like that. It's very connected to the fae, very connected to ancient ancestors as well. Jess, you're more than welcome. Oh, I love that. Thank you for the likes, everyone. Okay, so Jess, Ascended Masters. I absolutely love this card. Powerful, loving, and wise spiritual teachers are watching over and guarding you, all right? Now, has there been health issues? I feel that there is worry over somebody's health, whether it's yours or somebody in the family, right? But there is worry over somebody's health or well-being. Does that make sense? I do both. I can see and hear ghosts or spirits, whatever you want to call them. I call them spirits. But yeah, they are very much. Okay. Can I ask, was it very recent? This, I feel that there is someone in spirit that is surrounded with white light, okay? Like the ascended masters are surrounding this person in white light. What did your mum pass very recently? Okay. Okay, they're telling me that she's okay. She's receiving lots of healing, all right? I feel that maybe her health before she passed over wasn't good. I don't know whether one of the questions that you maybe asked yourself many times in your mind as to whether she knew you were there, because she's saying she wants you to know she knew you were there. Does that make sense? Hello, good evening, everyone. Hello, Grey Witch 83. But she's kind of like, please tell Jess I knew she was there. Right? I knew Jess was there, is what this lady is coming out with very, very strongly. I'm glad it makes perfect sense. Okay, she's receiving a lot of healing, and she's grateful for it. She says it's beautiful. If she could describe where she is just now, she wants you to know it's beautiful and it's peaceful. And she's saying her mind is at rest. All right? Her mind wasn't her own before she passed. She says it wasn't me. Right? Did she have a lot of moods? Like towards the end of her life, her moods changed. And she got quite frustrated or quite snappy. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like she was a different person. And she said, me, please understand it wasn't her. Her mind was going, and it just wasn't her. And she's saying if she said anything or anything hurtful, she apologizes. All right? Because she says, she wants to thank everyone for being patient and understanding, because she says she must have been a bloody nightmare. All right? But she wants you to know her mind is free now. All right? She was fighting an internal battle with her mind. All right? Things that were once clear and familiar to her were suddenly alien to her. All right? And it caused her a lot of inner anxiety, and that inner anxiety often came out with anger or aggression or anxiety. But she's wanting you to know, sweetheart, okay? One, the healing over the other side is more powerful than you can imagine. She says it's like she's got me back. She's got her old self back. She's with you every single day. Every single day. And she's sending you so much love. She knows, you know, in earth time rather than spirit time, it's a short time that she's been away. And the pain and the hurt and the loss is still raw, and she gets that. She honestly gets that. But she wants you to know she's a whisper away, sweetheart, all right? She can hear your thoughts, is what she's saying. So when you're thinking about her, you're bringing her forward, all right? She says, I'm getting the best of care here. Everyone is so helpful. Everyone is so kind here, all right? She's being, she's in the best hands. She's with ascended masters. She's with the best healers on the other side. I'm so glad it's so clear for you. She's saying you never ever lost her. A mother's love for her child never ever dies. It just lives on. You're connected to heart. And she says she's going nowhere. She says a lot of people think that when we lose loved ones to spirit, we lose them for good. We don't. They're always there. They always have been there, and they always will be there because they're connected by heart. And she says don't grieve for her because she's not dead. She lives on. And she's always going to live on in your memory. She's always going to live on in your heart. But also, she's always going to be watching over you. And she said, life is for the living. She wants you to live the best life you can. Because at the end of your life, she'll be waiting on the other side with open arms to greet you. But she's saying, don't put your life on hold. Because she's not there to give you a hug when you need it, to give you guidance when you need it. She's still going to be there to give you love and guidance. She's still going to be watching over you, sweetheart. She always is. And she says she's back to her old happy self, and she wants to see you smile more. She says she misses your smile. Okay, because she says you've lost the spark. Since she passed, the spark has gone. Does that make sense? Right? She loved your vitality. She loved your smile. She loved your, your taste for life, your zest for life. She loved that. And she says it's like when your mum passed over, that spark went out. And she gets that. Because you were very, very close. It's time to ignite that spark again. She wants to see that spark ignite. She's watching over you every second of the day. And she's also letting you know you're very much watched over also by the same angels that are looking after her. Hello, Twilight. I will try and get round to everyone, I promise. Oh, thank you. And yes, life is for the living. You're more than welcome, Jess. I knew you had to have that reading. Does that make sense? That's why I'm kind of drawn to the ones that I'm drawn to. I will try and get round absolutely everyone, but obviously not everyone can get a reading. However, just for the ones that have just joined me, if you follow me, on my profile, on my third post, pinned post, is a readings list. Anyone can ask for a reading on there, and I do little profile readings for free, and I tag your name in the profile if you are added on my list. You simply go to the post and you comment card, please. I will reply to let you know you're on my readings list. Once you're on my readings list, in my spare time, I go through that readings list, do little profile readings, and if your name's on that list, you'll get a reading. Hello, I will try and get round everyone. Oh, not a problem. That's what I do. I've always had that readings list on my profile, and it is there for absolutely anyone to use. Okay. So Susan Hyde is the one I'm drawn to next. So do we still have Susan Hyde? Jess, I'm so glad you connected with your mom. Thank you so much for asking. Okay. In between, while I'm waiting to see if we still have, do we still have Sarah? Is it Sarah Hyde? Do we still have Sarah Hyde? No, it's a Sarah Hyde is next. I've got Sarah Hyde, Naomi Anderson, and then Suzanne. But it's Sarah Hyde. I don't know if you still got Sarah Hyde. All right, I read it wrong. Okay. Yep, it's you. I recognize the 3 ones. I don't know where I got Sarah Hyde from. Okay, yes, I'm Sarah with the Sarah with the 3 ones. Okay. I do apologize for the surname. I am registered blind, so sometimes I read names wrong, so I do apologize, but yes. It's you, my love. Yay! Hello, Yasmin. Lovely to see you. Okay, let's shuffle these cards for Sarah. The one in between that, the one that's asking whether you will sell your business soon. Let me just give you a quick yes or no to that one. You've got to ask yourself, okay, is this the right decision? Is this what you really need to do? And is this what you really want? All right? So maybe there's a little bit of thinking to do about whether you should sell your business or whether you should continue with it. All right? It's asking you to go back to the drawing board and rethink things. All right? Rather than, and if at the end of it you feel you still want to sell your business, then go for it. But don't rush into this decision is the answer that I'm getting for you. Okay. Let's do Sarah's. Okay, do we have any messages for Sarah as I'm shuffling these cards? Emotional sensitivity is what I have for you, my love. Honor and respect your deep sensitivity. It's a gift to us all right? I feel you've been judged in the past by others, right? And probably one of the biggest things that you are often judged for is that you speak your mind, all right? You would rather call a spade than try to sugarcoat something. And sometimes when we are super, super honest with ourselves and others, and we just speak our truth, most of the time, the ones that really, really know you well will accept that truth and will accept that that's your judgment, that's your, that's your answer, that's your reply, and that's you. You're just being yourself and honest. But there are others that are really, really, and they kind of are taken aback by your honesty. Thank you for the daisies. Thank you everyone for the gifts. Okay, Crystal, thank you for the roses. For some reason I'm also drawn to you. I'm going to put your name down, Crystal with the roses. That one kind of caught me there. Susan, I already have you down on my list, my lovely, but thank you so much for the roses. You are all so kind. So, going back to Sarah, I don't know if you can relate to this, all right? But sometimes you think, why is people around me so picky? Why are they taking offense at me being honest? They'll ask for your honesty, and when you give it, they don't like it, right? And I guess a part of you has maybe been asking, do I change my ways then? Do I, try and give them the wrong answer just to please them? But that goes against the grain, if that makes sense. Thank you, Twilight. Yeah. Well, your card is saying, you know what? Keep speaking your truth. All right? You should never, ever worry that your truth or your words or your actions are going to offend everyone or anyone. All right? At the end of the day, I'm not for everyone. Right? A lot of people like my readings, a lot of people don't. A lot of people love to watch my lives, a lot of people don't. I'm not made for everyone, and you know what? I'm okay with that. Because when you realize that you being you is exactly what you're supposed to be doing, we're not supposed to be what everyone else wants us to be, right? When we change to please others, we turn against ourselves. And the one that loses out when we do that is ourselves. We're so busy helping other people and pleasing other people that the last person that is happy is ourselves. Never, ever compromise your own personality, right? Even if that personality offends others, that's okay. Right? Because the ones that it offends, they're not your tribe. All right? They don't like your vibe, they're not your tribe. They'll go and find their own tribe, and that's absolutely okay. But when you continue to be yourself, speak your truth. Always, always. The best advice I can always give is speak your truth. All right? A lot of people will say to me, oh, I don't like your readings or whatever. That's fine. Will it stop me from being who I am? Will it stop me from being doing my readings? No. Because it's in my heart to help everybody that I can with my readings. So I'll continue to give my readings. If the readings aren't for you, you don't have to stay and watch my lives. You don't have to go onto my readings list on my profile. That's absolutely fine, and I'm good with that. There are lots of readers on TikTok, Facebook, etc. But one thing that I've learned, I went through 50 years of abuse and bullying before I got out. And that taught me a valuable lesson, because for 30 years of being in that abusive marriage, I did everything I could to please a man that was a narcissist. Didn't happen. The one that lost out was me. And it was only when I got out that I saw that. And now I won't compromise me for nothing. So this card is saying, you know, it's a blessing that you are standing true to your own beliefs and to what you want to do in life, even though it may annoy or hurt others, right? The ones that annoys and hurts, they're not your tribe. So just let it go. The ones that stay by your side and love you because you absolutely speak your truth, they love your vibe. That's your tribe. And when we learn that lesson and we learn to be true and honest to ourselves no matter what, and we go for our own dreams, our own goals, whether people like it or not, that's called self-love. That's called, finding your own path, sticking with it. Sometimes it's a lonely path and we walk that path alone. But as we're walking, we sometimes pick up other people, other travelers on that very virtual path that we're walking. Sometimes we don't. And that's okay as well. I've had my spiritual gifts all my life. Claire, that's a good question. How did it seem when I first connected with Spirit? I've been connecting with Spirit since I was born. The reason being is when I was born, I was totally blind. Didn't have any vision at all. I could hear very well, but I could see Spirit with my third eye, my spiritual eye. And I was able to describe faces, places, etc. Even when I was blind, up until I was 5 years old, I couldn't see a thing. I then gained a little bit of vision, not a lot, but a little. And then I lost a lot of it about 9-10 years ago, after an eye operation went really badly wrong. But throughout all of that, I have never lost the ability to see Spirit and connect with Spirit. So in answer to your question, how did it feel from the first time? I don't know, I can't remember, because I've always seen Spirit. Spirit were the very first things that I ever saw. So I don't know how it was or how it is not to see Spirit. Does that make sense? Oh, thank you. What do they look like? Spirit can come in all different forms. Sometimes they come through as they were on the earth plane. Almost transparent, but you can still make out their features. Sometimes they're just orbs, bright rays of light. And sometimes they don't like to show themselves at all. They just like to communicate verbally, and that's okay as well. Sarah, you're more than welcome. Keep being you is the message, Sarah, for your reading, all right? Many times you've been tempted to change to please others. The message here is, please don't. All right? There's a little dog in Spirit with you. It looks very much like a little Jack Russell. So I don't know if you knew anybody that had a little Jack Russell. But this little Jack Russell has come through for you as well, Sarah. There's a little Jack Russell with you. Doesn't matter if you can't place this little dog. Well, thank you, Susan. Okay, Claire, then. All right. Okay. Did your pet dog live to a ripe old age? He had a good fair innings, right? He lived a ripe old age. I feel this dog lived the best life ever. Yeah. I'm not sure who's little. Obviously, a lot of people have lost Jack Russells. So this little Jack Russell in particular has a little brown speck or a little brown patch on one of his ears. It's like he's pure white, but one of his ears has got a little kind of like sandy brown patch on one ear. Thank you, Rochelle. Oh, bless. Okay. Then I feel that it was Claire's. Is it Claire's dog? I'm just reading back. Yeah. Okay, I feel that little Jack Russell is Claire's then, because Claire can relate to the little brown patch on his ears. So Claire, yes, this little Jack Russell is with you. And Sarah, keep being you, all right? And don't ever, ever change you. And keep speaking your truth. Even if it offends other people, keep being you. You know, I won't change who I am for anyone now. It's a hard lesson when you've been bullied and abused for 50 years. But do you know what? It helped me to start the Purple Hearts Unite movement here on TikTok and Facebook, and to help other women, children, who are going through abuse to actually come out the other end. Yeah, be yourself always. Twilight, thank you for sending the roses. I'm going to put you down as well. Okay, Naomi Anderson, Naomi. If I have pronounced your name wrong, I do apologize. I'm not great at seeing names or even pronouncing them, but I do try. Yeah, yep. Nene. Yes, she's here. Okay, thank you for your patience. Okay. Denise, thank you for the roses. I'm going to pop Denise on there because I do appreciate the roses. Thank you so much. I will try and get round everyone though. And please remember, I do also have a readings list, which is free on my profile as well. I do offline readings. I'm saying they're offline, but they're not live readings. They are profile readings. And I have a separate list on my profile for that, and anyone can put their name down to have a reading on that list. simply follow, like the pinned post that has readings list, and then put card please. I then reply and say that you're on my readings list, and in my spare time, which is usually tomorrow, when I'm not live, that's my spare time, and I go through that list and I do little mini readings on there for people that didn't get a reading on my live. Okay, Nanny, let's see what card we have for you. Solar plexus chakra is your angel healing card for today, and it's safe to be you, to be your powerful self and take charge over your life in positive ways. All right. Susan, thank you for the roses. I think Susan's next, actually. Yeah, Suzanne, you're next on my list. Thank you so much for the roses, everyone. I will try and get round as many people as I can. There are absolutely hundreds of people on my live, so it would be humanly impossible for me to get round everyone, but I will try and get round as many people. So, I feel that you've been surrounded by a lot of negative people and you've had a lot of hurt. I'm being told you've had a lot of hurt in the past, all right? Whether it's people making bad judgments about you, whether it's people trying to stir the cauldron, as it were, by telling false lies about you. I call that Chinese whispers, right? When people come as friends and then they spread gossip about you that isn't true. And people that you don't even know or they don't know you actually judge you on the words of others, if that makes sense. Thank you so much, Twilight, for the roses. Okay. And sometimes, you know, it hurts, right? We put our trust in our friends and we tell our friends absolutely everything. And I feel that this is the type of person that you are. And you hate saying no. If somebody wants help from you or advice, you absolutely hate saying no. And you give your all only for it to be thrown back in your face, as it were. All right? And it doesn't matter how many times that you tell people that the lies that were going around were not true, right? They're always going to believe the liars over yourself, all right? I lost a lot of friends when I left my ex because of my ex's family and their lies. But when I look back, did I really lose a friend? Did I really lose all those friends? No. Right? Because at the end of the day, if they were true friends, they would still be in my life. They would never have turned their back on me when I needed them most. And this is a message for you, my love, all right? The ones that don't believe you and believe the ones that are stirring the cauldron, they're not your true friends. So really, you lose nothing by cutting them off. The ones that you should be concentrating on are the ones that know Nanny for who you are. They know the truth. And no matter what, they're going to be the ones that stand by your side through thick, through thin, through good, through bad. They're going to be the ones that are going to be there. The ones that run when times are difficult, let them run in the opposite direction. That's okay. Again, they're not your tribe. The important thing here is it's time for you to put put you first. 2, get rid of the negative Nancys. Get rid of the ones that are fake friends. You don't need them, right? Zero all the time. And make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that are positive, with people that are learning 100%, right? The ones that you help, and then when you want their help, they're nowhere to be seen. That's the ones you cut ties with. And never look back and never ever have regrets that you did that. You know, all of my ex's trolls often came back, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't listen to you. Too late. Cords are cut. There's no going back. You know, I was there for you all through those years. When I needed you, you were nowhere to be seen. And because you're having a bad life now, you want to come back into my life and then say, oh, sorry. No, once bitten, twice shy. Once the cord is cut, it's cut. And this is the message for you, my love. It's time to cut those cords and never tie those cords back together. Once they're cut, keep them cut. If that makes sense. Thank you so much, everyone. Twilight, you're an angel. Thank you so much for the roses. Thank you. Cat Rose, do you know, you're not the first person to say that. Maybe it's because I'm a starseed. I guess a lot of people call me Earth Angel, Starseed, Indigo Child. We have lots of names, but ultimately we're old souls. Our real home is kind of universal realms, but we're basically put here when Mother Earth is in crisis, which she is. And our main purpose, or my main purpose, I've always known is to help others through my readings, through my guidance. I do a lot of guidance stuff on my profile, etc. But a lot of old souls do meet on the earth plane, so I can understand where you said that you feel that there's a strong connection. I get that a lot. Oh, thank you, everyone. And thank you for all the follows. I do go back after my lives and follow back. But please be aware as well, mainly the guys, when you've gone through abuse, you're very wary about guys. One thing about starseeds, indigo children, we are very good people readers. So if you're following me, guys, and I don't follow you back, it's probably because I've read something that doesn't sit well with me, let's just say that. And it's nothing personal. Yeah, that can happen as well. Being stuck in a realm for a while and trying to get out of that realm, it can be scary, can't it? But there are ways and means. I'm hoping to do some live spiritual chats if anyone would be interested in me doing just spiritual questions and answers. A lot of people have a lot of questions about what happens in, spirit realms, the universe, etc., etc. So if that's something that's going to be of interest to people, please let me know. Oh, wonderful. Definitely. Okay. So going back to nannies, it's safe to be powerful and to take charge of your life in positive ways. From here on in, what you need to do is change any negative thoughts to positive ones. I did a post today, and it's called Just for Today. Please feel free to go and watch that. It's only 5 affirmations that I use every single day. And it helps to keep my mind and my thoughts in a positive way rather than thinking negative. Remember, what we put out into the universe, we get back. Right? The universe is open, and it's important to be aware of our thoughts, words, and actions because they do come back to us threefold. It's like saying, what do you want? So when you start the day with, oh, I've just woke up, this is going to be a crap day. The universe hears, okay, you want a crap day? I'm going to give you it, right? Your wish is my command. So I'm going to give you a negative day. But if you wake up and say, you know what, just for today, don't look too far ahead. Don't just say for the next 3 months, for the next 2 weeks, whatever. There are 5 affirmations that will keep your mind positive and change any negative thoughts into a positive one. And it all starts, the 5 affirmations starts with just for today, because that's all you're focusing on, just for today. So every time you wake up in the morning, the 5 affirmations that you can use to change negative into positive. Just for today, I will not worry. So for the whole day, you're not going to worry about anything, because worry is a negative emotion. It's a negative. What will be, will be. There's no point in worrying about it. So just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I won't get angry. Rather than getting angry at somebody's negative towards me, I'll walk away. Or if it's a negative on social media, I will block them. Gone. Negativity be gone. I save myself a lot of stress. And just for today, I won't anger. I won't be angry. Rather than being angry, which is a negative emotion, I'll just cut them out. Negativity be gone. Cancel, clear, delete all negativity. So just for today, I will not anger. Just for today, I will count my many blessings. We always focus on what we don't have. I don't have money. I don't have a good house. I don't have a big car. I don't have all of this. You know, Mrs. Smith down the road, she's got a 5-apartment house. You know, she's got a 5-bedroom house and a car and 2 dogs and a cat and a guinea pig and whatever else. And what have I got? What have you got? Is what you should be looking at, not what you haven't got. Have you got a roof over your head? Food on the table? Enough money to get you by from one paycheck to another paycheck? Are you on the streets? If you're not, then you're blessed. Count those many blessings. And when you start counting your blessings, it doesn't matter what you've not got. It's what you have in your life that's more important than the things that you don't have. All right, the things that you don't have are material possessions. There are a lot more valuable things in life than the material possessions. Family, friends, love, good relationships, food on the table, roof over our head, money to pay the bills. The house might not be big. You might not have a car, but you can still get around. So just for today, I will count my many blessings. Just for today, I will do my work with honesty and integrity. That's a good one. Because when you do your work with honesty and integrity, and you're honest and true about what you do, right? You do a good job. People are drawn to you, right? How many of us have went to a reader and we've come out afterwards saying, well, that was a waste of money. I went to a reader once and they charged £60 for a 10-minute reading. £60 for a 10-minute reading. And they told me nothing. Absolutely nothing. So to me that wasn't valuable. So when I do find readings, or somebody has offered me a free reading and I take that reading and I can associate with it, I find blessings in that, because I'm blessed to have come across that person. So, and I would rather go to somebody who is honest and who, is not gonna, there's a lot of, let's face it, there's a lot of scammers out there, right? I've had my account copied so many times, to the point I've actually had to do a post on my account to say, if you want to know whether this is a genuine account, this is what you look for. So do please check that post out, folks. because it's going to help you from getting scammed. I've had so many of my followers come to me and said, did you jump in my DM box asking me for money for a reading or a blessing? No, I don't do that. All my online readings and profile readings are free. I will never, ever jump into your DM box and ask for money for readings, blessings, or any other reason. Quite the reverse. People usually DM me for help and advice. And of course, my help and advice is always free here on TikTok as well. So, just for today, I will do my work with honesty and integrity. That's your fourth one. And your last one, just for today, I will be kind to every living thing. And you might think that's a strange one. How can you be kind to an enemy? How can you be kind to a narcissist? How can you be kind to somebody that bullies or abuses you? Quite easy. It's kinder to walk away and say nothing than it is to spit vile and malicious and bad vibes back at them. That's what they want. They want you to react in a negative way. One thing that narcissists and abusers do not like is being sent to Coventry, is to be ignored. They need and they crave the attention. So they want you to fight back. They want you to be nasty back to them because that gives them power. Take that power away from them. Simply cut them out of your life altogether. Block them on social media. Change your phone number. Change your, whatever you need to do to keep yourself safe. So these are 5 things that you can put into your life every day to change a negative into a positive. Oh, bless. I love thunder and lightning. Absolutely love. Yep. Truth rather than fiction. Thank you so much, everyone, for the likes, the follows. Yep, that's true. Oh, thank you. Yep, but all of these things, oh, bless. Thank you, everyone. I'd love to give everyone a reading. I'm going to get through as many as I can. But yeah, all of these things can help to change negative into positive. And I feel that that's what you need right now, Nanny, is to get rid of the negative. All right? Negatives don't count. And surround yourself only with positive. And if you get a negative thought coming into your head, change it. Cancel, clear, delete, and change it with a positive. For example, just a couple of examples to end Nanny's reading, and then I'm going to go on to the next one. If you tell yourself, I can't do that today, cancel, clear, delete that. I can and I will do that today. I'm not good enough. Cancel, clear, delete that. I am good enough. I'm not worthy of love. I'm not worthy of success. I'm not worthy of abundance. Cancel, clear, delete that. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of abundance. And I am worthy of success. When you change a negative and cancel it out and put into a positive, you're telling the universe, take away that negative thought. I don't want it. This is what I want. I want it replaced with this. And it works. It has worked for me so many times. Exactly. Definitely. Okay. I do have 4 people that I'm drawn to first, and then I'm going to go on to a couple of random people. Suzanne is next, Crystal, Twilight, and Denise. And then I'm going to go on to a few randoms before I finish my live tonight. So do we still have Suzanne with us? Let me just shuffle these cards and get energy. I will try and get round as many people as I can, but please remember I also have a readings list on my profile as well, if you don't get picked for a reading tonight. Okay, Suzanne is next. Where's our lovely Suzanne? Oh, did she go to bed? I haven't got your name written down, but that doesn't mean say you don't get a reading. All right. I'm going to put Suzanne's name in brackets because I'm going to add her to my profile list because she's gone to her bed. I will put her, hopefully she has followed me. But I will put her on my profile list for a reading. So I'm going to go on to Crystal next then. Oh, we have Suzanne. Is she back? Yay, Suzanne is still here. Okay, somebody had told me you went to bed. Okay, Suzanne it is. Yay. Okay. So let's shuffle the cards for Suzanne. I'm so glad you're still here. The ones that I've got written down are the ones I was strongly drawn to for whatever reason. So I'm going to do those ones first, and then I'm going to, if there's time left over, I will take some random ones as well. No problem. The main thing is Susan's still here. All right. Another thing I want to point out as well, on my profile, you will see my YouTube channel, which is the Lady Moonlight YouTube channel. This live gets shared onto my YouTube channel, the Lady Moonlight one. So anyone that has missed anything or wants to see this live again, please feel free to go to my YouTube channel. I also share it to my Facebook group, which is The Mystic Witch. Again, all my links, social media links, etc. are on my website. The link to my website is on my bio here on TikTok, as is all my groups and all the things that I do. Everything about me is on my profile, folks. It is a clickable link. That's another way you'll know if it's a real account. Fake accounts with my name and picture on it will not have a clickable website link. My profile always has a clickable profile link. Hello, Reva. I will try and get round to as many people as I can. Okay, so let's do Suzanne's. What do we have for Suzanne? Oh, wow. Suzanne, you have got crystals. Crystals is a powerful, powerful card. The energy of crystals will support you and help you with your present situation. All right? I feel, for whatever reason, you've gone through a lot in life. You've gone through a lot of hurt. You've gone through a lot of stress. All right. you've gone through a lot of problems and troubles. In fact, you've probably gone through more problems and troubles than you care to shake a stick at, right? And I feel you're carrying something from the past into the present, and you risk taking that into the future with you. And it's a deep hurt. Somebody hurt you deeply in the past. And it's almost like a deep grudge. You know, you hold on to that hurt and you build a wall around that hurt to try and protect you from future hurt. But carrying something from the past that should really be left in the past means that that burden is just going to get heavier and heavier. It's like picking up a pebble. When you first pick up that pebble, you can walk a mile with that pebble, no problem. By the time you've walked 2 miles with that pebble, it starts to get a little bit heavier. And the further you walk with it, eventually it gets so heavy you have no choice but to drop it. Oh, thank you, Crystal. Okay, so what you need to do, honey, 1, you need to get some healing crystals, all right? Work with the healing crystals, but you also need crystals that are gonna protect you from negative forces around you, negative people, negative situations. The 2 crystals that I can highly recommend for that for you, 1 for your healing, amethyst. Amethyst is the most powerful healing crystal that you can have. You can also use rose quartz to bring love, self-love back in, because you've not had self-love for so long because you're carrying this burden, all right? So looking at the crystals, amethyst and rose quartz, that's going to deal with the healing and bring you much needed love and healing into your life. Black obsidian or black tourmaline, that is going to provide you with protection against negative people, negative forces. Selenite, a piece of selenite in each room of your home is going to repel any negative energy from visitors coming into your home. So if you have negative people coming into your home, the selenite is going to absorb that negativity so that when they leave your home, they're not leaving that negativity behind them. Also cleansing your home with white sage, Californian white sage smoke, can help get rid of negativity. But along with the crystals, what you need to now do, and you might find it strange, I'm going to ask you to revisit your past. And you're thinking, well, she's just said the past should be left in the past. Yes, it should. But sometimes we need to revisit the past to heal from it and then leave it in the past where it belongs. It's a long process. I left abuse 8 years ago, and I'm still using this process today, because when you go through trauma and problems that you're carrying into the future, it's called post-traumatic stress. You carry that with you, and you need to get it out of here. And the way to do that is every time it comes in here, every time we get flashbacks to the past, write it down. Look back on the past. What hurt you in the past? Write it down. Even the painful things that are so painful that, you know, when I left abuse, I wrote so many pages. I couldn't read half of it because the tears that came with writing it down. Because when you're pulling the hurt from here and you're putting it on paper, yes, it's going to be a painful process, but it's something that ultimately we have to do in order to be able to heal from that. So no matter how painful it is, write it down. Don't rush it. All right? If it takes months, if it takes years, that's okay. The main point is getting it out of here onto paper. When the page is full, when each page is full, you're going to fold the paper. I'm going to show you. Let me take a page out of my notebook and show you. So you've got a page that you've got two sides of all the things that have hurt you in the past. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your paper and you're going to fold it away from you, right? Then you're going to turn it around and you're going to fold it towards you. What that is telling you, when you're folding it away from you, you're saying, universe, take this away, I don't want it. When you're folding it to you, you're asking the universe to replace it with love and healing. So once you've done your folds, you burn it. And then you save the ashes. You put the ashes in a cup or a jar or whatever container you want. And you can either cast it to the four directions of the wind, or you can bury it in the earth. Now, that doesn't mean to say that once it's written down and burned, it's not going to come back. Some of it may still come back. But again, stick with it. Get it out of here, write it down, burn it, cast it, or bury it. Over time, what you'll find is that by doing that and by releasing it all and working with the healing energies and the protection energies of the crystal, you're letting go. And eventually, it's not going to come back. It's going to get less and less and less. And it's like finally dropping that pebble so that you can move on into the present and into the future. You've been carrying this burden for so long, and it's time to let it go, is the message of this card. You can do that with crystals and positively writing it all down, looking back at what hurt you in the past and healing from that. Thank you for all the follows, everyone. Yep. Exactly. Well, it's definitely time to work with the crystals. Sometimes it's the case of taking your crystal, taking a piece of amethyst and just holding it in your left hand, closing your eyes and saying, fill my soul with healing energy. And focus on your hand. And you'll feel the energy, that healing energy from that crystal radiating through you. Same with the rose quartz. When you need to bring a little bit of self-love, which is something, childhood trauma from abuse, etc. We need to bring self-love back into it. So again, holding rose quartz in your left hand and basically saying, fill my soul with love. I'm so worthy of love right now. And I'm so worthy to receive love. I deserve love. And it's the same with your black obsidian or your black tourmaline. Protect me from all negativity and from all negative people and situations. Focus on the energy of the crystals and they will serve you well. Also remember, your crystals can absorb a lot of energies. So every full moon, put your crystals out in the moonlight and let the moon cleanse and charge your crystals. If you are buying new crystals, you can cleanse them even when it's not on a full moon, just by having selenite. Put selenite in the center of a dish and fill that dish with the crystals that need cleansed. The selenite will absorb all of the negative energies from those crystals and cleanse them. So I hope that helps. I love that one. Shall I chuck the crystal at my baby's dad's head? No, definitely not. You could knock him out, which probably is a negative rather than a positive. But you know what? You can burn sage. A lot of negative people hate the actual smell of sage. My ex hated it, made him sick, so I burned it even more. Just saying. Will you be obese soon? Well, it depends on how much you eat. Ah, yeah, definitely. Well, that's a good one. Trying to sleep when your mind is so focused. I shared in an earlier reading, I shared a good handy tip for that. If your mind is crowded at night and you can't sleep because your mind is running with thoughts, two things to do. One, clear your chakras, third eye and your crown. Center finger, middle finger is your power fingers. Left hand on your third eye, right hand on your crown. Very gentle butterfly taps and closing your eyes while you do this, and you'll see all the colors behind your closed eyes. The colors that you see will tell you the chakras that are getting cleared. So, example, if you see purple, the third eye is getting cleared. If you see white, it's the crown. If you see blue, it's the throat, etc. That's going to clear your chakras before you go to sleep at night. Another way is to deep breathe and count. It's like counting sheep, but you're with your breath. Because your brain cannot count and think about all the worries and problems of the day at the same time. It can't do two things at once. So you're going to breathe in through your nose for 5. So you're going to breathe in. Fill in your lungs so that when you've got your hand on your diaphragm and your tummy is coming out with each breath in and is pulling itself back in with each breath out. So you're going to breathe in for 5. Fill in the lungs and the tummy. And then you're going to count slowly for 5 and breathe out through the mouth. Pulling your tummy and your diaphragm in. When you're counting 5 breaths in, 5 breaths out, your brain can't think of anything else. It has to continue to count. If you lose count and you feel that your mind is wandering again, bring it straight back to the counting. With practice, that's going to ease your mind enough to be able to sleep. Yep, exactly. I will try and get round to everybody's reading. But Suzanne, I hope that that's going to help. Okay. Crystal is, I'm going to do Crystal, then Twilight, then Denise, and then if I've got time, I'll do a couple more. So let's get the cards for Crystal. Oh, bless. Claire, if you need to go to sleep, please do so. Put your name down on my profile readings list. It's the 3rd pinned post on my profile. Just simply ask for a card. I'll add you to my readings list and you'll get a card picked tomorrow, sweetheart. Yay, Crystal's here. Thank you for the roses. Okay, so let's do Crystal first. I'm going to focus on Crystal, Twilight, and Denise, and then we'll see who else we can fit in at the end. Okay. So let's do Crystal first. If I do miss comments, I do apologize, but I do have a mini readings list on my profile as well for profile readings for anyone that doesn't get a reading tonight. I would love to be able to do readings every night for everyone. My next live reading after this one will be Wednesday night, so I will be doing some random readings on Wednesday evening as well if you don't get picked for a reading tonight. Okay, Crystal. Wow. Crystal, you've got the Goddess card, sweetheart. And the Goddess card, express your divine feminine energy, embracing its magical situation and nurturing qualities. All right? Do you know, whether we see it in ourselves or not, all women are made in the form of the goddess, right? We all come from the goddess. And one of my favorite chants is, we all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return, like a drop of water rushing to the ocean. And it's so true. We are all, women are life givers, right? We are a powerful force to be reckoned with, all right? We're the only species that can bring life into the world, right? We are the healers. We are the guiders. We are the mothers, the grandmothers, the great-grandmothers. And yes, okay, guys, you have your role to play in that as well, all right? But, without us women, there would be no population, all right? And sometimes we don't give ourselves credit for just how powerful and amazing we are, all right? That's why a lot of women love to connect with the moon. They love, how many of us are moms and grands, etc., and we absolutely love children, etc. Yep, exactly. Because we are all goddesses in our own rights, and sometimes we have to believe that. And sometimes we don't see it in ourselves because there are so many people waiting in the sidelines to tear us down, right? And there's a lot of men, including my ex, that are absolutely petrified of us women. Why? Right? Because they don't want the women to be more powerful than what they are. Heaven forbid. Years ago, it was a man's world. Women weren't allowed to vote. Women weren't allowed to work. We were asked to stay at home and look after the kids and whatever else. It's a changing world now, right? Women have more rights now than they ever used to do. So why was it back then that it was deemed a man's world? It was deemed a man's world because men were afraid of women's power. Right? They were absolutely petrified of it. You just need to look at the witch trials, back in the burning times, as I call it. Right? Why were so many witches burned or drowned or hung? Right? It's because the Roman Church feared the power of women. Right? How come this woman can heal? How come moms can cuddle their children and make their children feel safe and secure? Right? When we were kids, and we fall and we skin our knees, who's the first person we turn to, right? Our mums, right? We all are goddesses. We all are able to heal others. And more importantly, we're powerful enough to manifest anything that we want from the universe, right? Because we're damn goddesses. And we should never ever forget that. All right? Never allow anyone to take your power away, to take your magic, to take your nurturing powers away. It's happened too many times in the past. And women are coming back, and we're standing our ground, and we're saying, no, we shall not be moved on this. We shall continue to be healers. We shall continue to be damn goddesses. And we will continue to give love. But at the same time, we will continue to walk away and ignore you and slam the door in your face if you dare to actually put us down. We should never ever be in a situation where we are bullied or trampled into the ground. If you're in a relationship like that, put on your goddess crown and walk. And own the ground. Own your own power. And this is what this card is saying to you, Crystal. And the fact that you're calling yourself a goddess most of the time. Wow, that's powerful in itself, right? You're on the right track here, right? And there have been a few people I feel in your past that have come and tried to knock that crown squint or off your head completely. The message here is just pick the crown up, straighten it, and carry on. And here's the thing, women as a tribe, when we stick together, we are unbeatable, right? We're the only ones that if we see another queen's crown squint, we will actually straighten that queen's crown without even telling her it was crooked in the first place. Because that's what we are good at doing. So the message to your card is, you know your calling. Deep down in your intuition, your gut is telling you just how wonderful, amazing, and powerful you are. Never allow anyone to take that from you. People have done it in the past, right? And you suffered for that. Lesson learned. From now on in, nobody controls Crystal. Crystal follows her own path with her head held high. Crystal follows what she believes is right for her. And she knows as well that the right people will follow her. There's a lot of people that don't like me. I'm good with that. They obviously don't like my vibe. I'm absolutely good with that. Because ultimately, I can't be around negative vibes either, because it drains my energy. So I get it that sometimes low energies do not work well with higher energies. When you're working at a positive level and a level of love, which is what all light workers work at, the ones that are working at lower levels can't be around that light. So they try and dim that light. Don't allow anyone to dim your light. Keep shining bright, because the world needs more light. Doesn't need more darkness. We've already got that. It's time to bring more light and love and positivity rather than darkness, negativity into the world. And I feel that you are a true born light worker, also possibly a star seed as well. Oh, thank you. We are all queens. Every one of us are queens. Suzanne, thank you so much for the roses. So I hope that helps, Crystal. And I do hope you followed me, because, anyone that does follow, I will follow back. I love meeting other queens. I love meeting and befriending other light workers. And I always follow back. And of course, my DM box is always open. But guys, word to the wise for any guys here. One, I am happy in a relationship. So don't jump in my DM box and ask me for a date. Tell me I'm beautiful. I already know I'm beautiful, right? I don't need another man to tell me I'm beautiful, to tell me I'm sexy or hot or whatever. And the worst one is, hi, where do you come from? What do you do? Well, clearly you haven't seen my profile, because then you would know what I do. I do readings, I do healing, and I'm a life coach. Go figure. It's the fastest way, guys, to getting blocked. But if you're jumping in my DM box and you're just saying, hi, saw your live, whatever, strongly connected to you or whatever, if you follow me, if you support my posts, I give back. I come and follow you and I support your posts as well. Every time somebody comments on my post on TikTok, I always comment back and then I jump onto their profile. Might take me a while to get through everybody, but I do try my best to get round everybody because I love meeting positive people, and especially light workers, etc. Okay, Twilight is next on our list. And then we've got Denise, and then I'll do a couple of randoms. It's been lovely meeting so many new people tonight. I love it. Absolutely love it. So let's shuffle these cards for our Twilight. Yay, Twilight's here. Hello from Trinidad and Tobago. Lovely to have you here. Okay, I love your name, Twilight. Love it. Beautiful, beautiful name. Maybe that's why I was drawn to it. Okay. A lot of people ask me where I get my name. Where do I get Lady Moonlight? My great-grandmother was an ancient traditional witch, and her magic name or witch's name was Lady Moon. And I was ascended from her, so I became Lady Moonlight. She has been my guide all my life. And she is a bit of my higher self. So her memories, her wisdom are my memories and my wisdom. So that's where Lady Moonlight came from. Okay. Because I am the light of Lady Moon, I guess you could say. So Lady Moonlight. So I love your name, Twilight. Quite a magical name. Thank you for the roses. Thank you. You are all so generous. Thank you so much. I give my readings freely because that's what I do. So when people gift, I always like to thank them because you're all a blessing. I would quite happily do my readings freely. So I am appreciative of all those that do send gifts. Thank you so, so much. Thank you to the ones that have liked and followed. You're all amazing. And it keeps me doing what I do best, and that's to help other people. I may not have a lot of physical vision, but my spiritual vision has enabled me to help other people with my readings and my healing. I'm also Reiki master, so I do Reiki distant healing as well for the sick. Oh, wow. That is why I'm drawn to you. Indigo. Whether you know it or not, Twilight, you are an indigo child, or a starseed, as some of us call us, or indeed a light worker. And it says the person that you're inquiring about, i.e. yourself, is an indigo, meaning a highly sensitive, natural-born leader. All right? You instinctively know, just as much as you instinctively know when something is wrong. All right? Sometimes you've learned i.e. you've went against what your natural intuition is telling you. So, for example, maybe in the past you've listened to those around you rather than listen to your intuition, and you followed their guidance, and then realized at the end of it, you've come home and you've kind of said, I wish I'd listened to my gut instinct. How many of us have done that, right? Our gut tells us one thing, but our head and our friends tell us another. And our friends and our head sounds more exciting than the gut intuition. So we go with that, don't we? And then we come back and we think, I wish I'd listened to my gut, because that just got me into a heap of crap, right? It's happened to me. It's a learning curve for everybody. Everybody goes against their own intuition from time to time. And it is a learning curve. Now I never go against my intuition. I always follow my gut. If my gut tells me something's wrong, I know it's wrong. If my gut tells me something's right and I'm safe to do something, I know that as well. It's part of being an indigo child. It's part of being a starseed or a light worker. And we should embrace that gift, because that gift was given to us to help other people. And I believe that you are a natural healer, you're a natural seer. Sometimes your chakras may get blocked and your vision may be cloudy at times, but that's not any fault of yours. That's the situation that you find yourself in. For example, if you surround yourself with a lot of negative people, your vision, your seeing is going to get blocked, or your energy is going to get blocked or drained slightly, until you remove yourself out of that negative situation and put yourself back into the positive situation, if that makes sense. My nails, they kind of change color. They're kind of like, they're chrome nails. I got the chrome ones, but they do change like crystals. I change them all the time, but I decided, when I seen these, they look like crystals, depending on which way the light hits them. But during the day, they're just kind of like a grey chrome colour, but when I'm under light, they kind of change like crystals. Thank you. I'm always drawn to different colours, so it's going to be Samhain very soon, or Halloween as non-pagans call it. So I probably do my nails in sort of like more spooky stars and moons and ghosts and stuff like that. I did stars and moons one not so long ago. But it's time for you, Twilight, to embrace your spiritual gifts. All right? There's a strong calling for you to help others. Sometimes you doubt yourself. Stop doubting yourself, right? Deep down, when you follow your intuition, you know what you're here for. You know what your mission on Earth is for. I've always known all my life that I'm supposed to be a life coach. I'm supposed to bring people into the light rather than keep them in the dark. I'm here to sort of advocate for Mother Earth and the universe, because she's dying. Mother Earth is in peril, and we need more light workers like Twilight to be able to put more light back in the planet, which is what we need. So I've always known that that was my calling, even from a young child. I always went out my way to help people. That was just what I did. And that's your calling. Hello, Anne-Marie Brooke. I hope... Oh, good night, Colette. Thank you so much for joining me, sweetheart. I will try and get round. Oh, thank you for asking. Do I have a story anywhere? I sometimes share a little bit of my story on my profile here on TikTok. It's probably buried amongst all my other posts here. But yeah, I'm gonna do my story. I have a group on Facebook, and it's called Purple Hearts Unite. The link to it is on my website profile. And sometime this week, I'm going to be doing my life story on there, mainly because my past has been less than rosy. I spent 50 years being bullied and abused, but it's made me the strong, powerful person that I am because I've used that experience to help other men, women, and children go through abuse and come out the other end. So sometimes you have to walk through the fires of hell in order to help pull other people from that same fire of hell. So I do intend this week, in fact, good question that you asked there, to share my story on the Purple Hearts Unite group on Facebook. So anyone that would like to join that, yes, definitely. I will do another post on here. Might be a shorter version because you can only sort of record 3 minutes at a time, but I will do a shorter version, but I am planning to do a live on my Facebook group telling my story. It's not for the faint-hearted. I wish I could say that my life has been really, really a good one. It hasn't. It's actually met with some horrors. But it's made me the person that I am. And sometimes light workers have to go through hell because we need to go through all of that in order to help others that are going through that. Because if we didn't go, how could we help others? We couldn't, because we wouldn't know why they go through what they do. So there's a lot of, I help a lot of disabled people, a lot of blind people, because when you're blind yourself, you know exactly what they're going through. So I use all of my life experiences to help other people in those same experiences. Hello from Poland and good night as well. Thank you, everyone. Oh, thank you, Tamara. I do try. I am who I am. And, it's like I said, we should never, ever change who we are to please others. So thank you, Crystal. I'm going to do Denise. And then I'm just going to do 2 more randoms before I end tonight's live. So do we still have Denise with us? And then I'm just going to do 2 more random people after Denise. I will be back on Wednesday night though, doing more lives. So if you haven't had a reading from me tonight and you still would like a reading live, I'm back Wednesday evening, 10 p.m. UK time. Oh, Michelle, even if I don't get round to you, sweetheart, go onto my profile. On my 3rd pinned post is a readings list. Just comment card, please. I'll add you onto that readings list and I will do a reading for you tomorrow. I'm doing my reading list readings tomorrow. What I do is I go through that list of names that want a card, and I do little mini readings on my profile page, and I'll tag your name in it. Please make sure that you have followed me first. Because of past abuse, I've had to limit comments on my post to followers. So to comment, you need to follow me and then comment on that post. I will follow you back and then you can comment on that post. Or you can DM me and ask for a reading on a profile as well. Oh, lovely to meet you from Trinidad. Ah, yeah, Trinidad. Beautiful country. I've never been, but I've seen lots of photos and videos on it. Okay. So let's do Denise. Do we still have Denise with us? Is Denise still with us? Thank you, Emma. Oh, Colette, I will add you to the group. Yay, Denise is still with us. Okay. So we'll do Denise, and then I'm going to do 2 more randoms. Just going to randomly pick 2 names after Denise. But let's do Denise's one first. Some beautiful, beautiful readings today. Thank you to everyone who has joined me tonight. You're all amazing. Thank you for the follows, the likes, the shares. I will go through all the followers after this live and follow back. Okay, so that anyone that wants a profile reading can then go on to my profile. But please be aware, if I do follow you back and you DM me in my DM box with chat up lines, etc., you get blocked. Just saying, I don't do chat up lines. I only come on to TikTok to help other people and to give advice and readings. So just putting it out there, if you're going to jump on my DM box with chat up lines, etc., you will be blocked. I already have a wonderful man in my life, thank you very much, and that's not of interest to me, so I'm just putting that out there. Okay, let's pick this card for Denise. Wow, we've got the fairies card for you, Denise, as well. Oh, bless. Kat, I will, for some reason, I'm drawn to answer that question after Denise's. There's something about your name and your question, so bear with me. Denise, you have a strong bond with the Fae or the fairies, and your life purpose involves helping Mother Earth. I feel that you spend so much time helping other people, but the last person on this earth that you are helping or that you give self-love to is yourself. You put yourself last in every situation, right? People come to you for help, you're more than happy to help. Even if when you want their help, they're nowhere to be seen, you still continue to give and give and give. And even when they turn their back on you, you still continue to give. Thank you for the roses, everyone. So what this card is saying is now time to take some time out for you, Denise, all right? Something that you haven't done for a long time. You've gave so much to other people and you've given so little to yourself. And somewhere along the line, something has got to give when we do that. When we burn the candle at both ends and we neglect ourselves, in the end, what usually happens is our health or our mental well-being can suffer from lack of self-power, self-worth, self-love. So we need to get back to basics. We need to turn away from negative people, negative situations for a while, and spend more time nurturing ourselves, even if that means taking a walk in nature, a walk along the beach, a quiet park, walk through the woods, whatever it needs. Even something like taking an hour or 2 hours every day to just listen to music, turn off the phone, turn off the television, do some meditation, work with Mother Nature. Maybe, if you've got a garden, plan a fairy garden, all right? The fairies are calling you to go back to nature, to go back within, to get back to your spiritual roots, if that makes sense. I'm so glad it makes sense. And it's okay now and again to say no. It's okay to say, do you know what? Just for today, I would like to help you, but just for today, I need to help myself first. When we are helping others, we drain the energy out of ourselves. And that can, in the long term, lead to sickness or stress or even anxiety. And it can even lead to fatigue. And then when it gets to that point, we have no other option but to retreat, because 9 out of 10 times we're in our bed, too tired to do anything to help other people. You want to avoid that at all costs. So no, it's okay from time to time to say no. And the ones that want your help and are there for you when you need their help, keep them. The ones that are there asking for your help, but when you need their help and support, they're nowhere to be seen, cut ties with them, right? They're the energy drainers. They're the ones that you don't need at this time. You need to connect back to yourself, is the message of this card, all right? Self-love is so important right now. It's getting back to you. Tell yourself each day, I am so worthy of being myself. I am so worthy of putting myself first and self-love. I'm so worthy to be able to be in a place where I have peace of mind, even if that's just sitting by a waterfall or sitting on the beach and listening to the water, etc. I love the woods where we live because we have streams, babbling brooks and waterfalls. And I love taking my flute and just sitting by a waterfall and playing the flute. It's just so invigorating. And sometimes I just sit and meditate and listen to the birds, the sound of the wind, the heat of the sun on your face, taking your shoes and socks off and just connecting to Mother Earth, grounding yourself, hugging the odd tree and asking for the tree's wisdom. These are the things that we have come away from and we need to get back to. And when the fairies card is coming into your reading, it's telling you that's exactly what you're needing to do. Get back to nature, get back to your roots. So I hope that this helps. Okay, I'm going to go with Cat. Rose just now. Can I sense any baby or man called Alan? Just when you asked that earlier on, often I will always say, if you are thinking about a person in spirit, it's like taking a loud hailer and shouting their name. They hear it. They hear your thoughts. They hear your requests. They hear your questions. So The minute that you had asked about this man and this baby in spirit, I need to tell you that the minute that you said that, there was a gentleman coming forward with a young baby in his arms. And he's letting you know that both are there and both are safe. All right? Is the gentleman's name Alan? I have just asked him and he said yes. And I believe that this Alan is also taking care of the baby as well, which is why they both come in together. But he wants you to know he heard your request loud and crystal clear, which is why out of all of the comments that came through, I was drawn so much to that, because the minute that you asked if there was either a man called Alan or a child, yes, there's both. They are both together because I feel that they both need each other. Does that make sense? One needs the other just as much. And I feel that they need each other to help. Oh, bless. Is Harmony or Elsie with Alan? Oh, bless. And yes, Kat, he's saying, you know, it's yours. He's saying that Kat is so right. All right. Because when he went, he needed that angel. And yes, do you know, in some ways, he's saying you lost two angels, but in reality, you didn't lose two angels. You gained two angels that work together and send you and your family so much love and light. And as for the others that have passed, he's saying when we are all connected through love, when we are connected through heart, yes, the gang's all here, all right? He says he's met up with everyone over here, or where they are, all right? But I feel that the baby that he's holding in his hands is the baby that he needs, or he needed. They are like, almost like soul, but both are with him, if that makes sense. But he says there are others here as well, all right? There are ancestors, there are long lost family, etc. here, but he is taking care of the angel that Kat speaks about, if that makes sense. Oh, I'm so glad. Well, he's sending you, he wants to send you all his love. And he's saying, please don't ever think that you've lost an angel. You've just gained two, or three, or maybe four, or more. But he's sending you and Claire so much love right now. And he said, thank you for remembering him. Thank you for mentioning him in your thoughts, because he needed to come in. And you know, I wish you could have seen his face when he came walking in, carrying this baby. He was, how can I put it? There was such a pride in this man's eyes when he was walking and holding this baby. And, you know, he's saying, you know, you didn't lose angels. Far from it. You just gained angels. And they're watching over all of you. And they're only a whisper away. He says, thank you for remembering and never forgetting him, because he's never forgotten any of you. You know, and he's sending, oh wow. He's saying thank you for the flowers. Does that make sense? Thank you for the flowers. You remembered. I don't know if that has meaning for you, but he's saying, please say thank you for the flowers and thank them for remembering. Oh, that's what he means then. Okay. He says he's received the flowers with much love and says thank you so much. He loves you all dearly. And he says, you know, just as much as you haven't forgotten him, they haven't forgotten you either. And that's why he wants you to know you've not lost angels, you've gained them. And they watch over you every single day. And, you know, he's saying Christmas is coming up. And he'll be at the table with you all. He shares in all of the celebrations. He shares in the Christmases, the birthdays, the happy events. And he watches you live your life. And he wants you all to live life to the full, if that makes sense. Because he wants to be living every moment of that life with you. He'll be there rooting for you all, as will the little babies, as will the rest of the family, the ones that are over the other side with him. He is so proud of all of you, and he wants you to know that. So I hope that has brought you much needed comfort. He says you needed to hear that. And that's why when you had asked that question, I had to come straight to Kat, because the pride of this man, his shoulders were sort of set back. He had the child in his hand, and the grin on his face was just, it's hard to describe, but it melts. It'd be hard not to melt anyone's heart. And that's what caught my eye, and that's what caught the attention. So thank you for asking that, Kat, because had you not asked that question, he wouldn't have come through. And he says, please tell her she just made my day as much as I've made hers. So there you go. You're more than welcome. Claire, you're more than welcome as well. He loves you both. Okay, Michelle NJ929. Let's pick a card for you. That is a beautiful, beautiful reading. Okay. Let's give these cards a good shuffle. Okay, so I'm going to do Michelle, and then I'm just going to pick one more at random, and then I'm going to call it a night, because I have been doing the readings now since about 10:30 my time, and it is almost 2 a.m. So let's do Michelle's first. Kat, you're more than welcome. Anyone that hasn't received a reading tonight, please go to my profile. I do have a profile readings list on there, and just simply go to the third pinned post on my profile. It is entitled Readings List. If you comment card, please, I will add you to my readings list. And I do little mini readings on my profile when I'm not doing lives, and then I tag your name in that reading if you are on the list. Failing that, I am back again on Wednesday evening doing more readings. Okay, and in the meantime, I'd like to thank everyone for their shares, their likes, and their follows. Please be aware, because of past abuse and past abusers trying to get onto my profile, my comments are limited to followers only. So if you want to be added onto my profile list, please make sure you follow, and I will follow you back, and then you can comment on my readings list to ask for a reading. Okay, Elise, right, is it Ali? Let me just see. Altia 319. Do you know what, Altia 319? I'm going to make you the last one. Okay, I've put you down as the next reading. And Altia 319, you will be the last one of the evening. Anyone else can ask for a card on my profile. Please make sure you follow me first and that I followed back, so that you can comment on that. Please be aware, if I do follow you back and you jump into my DM box with anything but requests for readings or advice, then you'll be ignored. Saying. Okay, so let's do Michelle's one first. Okay, be willing to forgive, all right, is the card that I've picked for you. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. Sometimes it's really, this one's a difficult one. It's the most difficult thing in the world to forgive those that have hurt us in the past, right? Because that hurt can sometimes cut deep. And we hold on to that hurt. And when we do so, it is so hard to forgive the person that hurt us in the first place. But sometimes just even saying, do you know what? I'm cutting the person that hurt me out of my life. And because they can no longer impact my life because I've chosen to cut cords with them, then I can quite freely forgive the wrongs that they have done and leave karma to be their judge. When you know how universal karma works, i.e., every thought, word, and action that we put out, we get back. Might not be today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, or 10 years' time. But you better believe that if you put positivity out there and love and kindness and forgiveness, you get that back threefold. But on the other hand, if you've done wrong to others in your life, or they've done wrong to you, they will get it back threefold. They might think they've got away with it, but somewhere in their future, they are going to get universal karma. I've seen it happen to so many people, especially past people in my life that have hurt me, or my children or my grandchildren. I see karma 8 years on hitting them and hitting them hard. I forgive them for their wrongs because they don't affect my life anymore. And when we cut ties, we can easily say that because we can just leave karma to do the rest. But on saying that, I'm not going to say this is going to be easy. It is the hardest thing on this planet to do, is to forgive somebody that's done you wrong. We may not forget it. We may always remember the wrong. But use that wrong as a lesson. If somebody's done you wrong in the past, which I feel you've been hurt in the past, that's a lesson to be aware of similar people in your present and future. To read the signs. You're more equipped to read the signs of people who are there to hurt rather than to give love and blessings. And you can use that to protect you from present and future hurt, if that makes sense. Oh, I'm so glad. Yes, I love this. That is a positive statement right there. You know there's a twin flame out there, and you positively say, I'm going to meet my twin flame by the end of the year. What you are doing there is saying to the universe, I know my twin flame's out there. And I'm asking you to call on my twin flame and bring him to me. That's exactly what happened in my life. I went through 30 years of abuse. And on the snow moon, I cast a request to the universe. I knew my true soulmate was out there. And I held on hope. And I said, I know he's out there. I sense him. I feel him. Bring him to me. 2 years later, I met him. And he helped me to escape abuse. We had been together 8 happy years. So manifesting and believing that what you ask the universe and what you truly believe, you're going to bring it. If you want a job, right? A lot of people, I've seen a lot of questions, for example, will I get that job? Sitting on a chair, asking somebody, will I get that job? But doing nothing to get that job, it's not going to get you the job. Right? We're not miracle workers. The universe isn't a miracle worker. Right? If we want the job, we have to go and physically look for the job that we want. We then have to apply for the job that we want and go through an interview. Now we can apply for a job that we really, really want. Then we can ask the universe, I'm going for this job. Give me the positivity that I want, that I want and that I need to get me through the interview stage so that I get that job. Yes, the universe is going to help you. But is the universe going to say to you, well, you just sit there on the chair and I'll go and look for the job and the application form and I'll bring it to you? Of course not, right? We can manifest whatever we want in our lives, but we also need to put in the work for it. The true path to manifestation is, if you want it, you've got to ask it, you've got to see it in your mind's eye, and you've got to imagine that you've already got it and how that feels. And you hold on to that feeling. And you hold on to that belief with all that you have. That's when the manifestation happens. Just simply saying, universe, bring me that dream job, and doing nothing. Not visualizing it, not feeling how it would feel, not sensing how it would feel to actually receive that letter or phone call to say you've got the job. And that joy that you have that you've actually got that job, etc. Not feeling that, you're not manifesting it. So I love that you've already said, my soulmate's out there, my twin flame's out there, and I know he's going to come to me in a year. You've already set that in motion. And that's exactly how we should be doing it. Yes, believing is everything. And that's when a lot of people will say to me, oh, I've tried the manifestation and it doesn't work. And I said, well, how did it feel actually imagining having that in your life? And they said, I didn't imagine it. I just asked for it. Nothing happened. You're not going to get anything happening if you just ask for it and just do nothing. You have to meet the universe halfway, right? The universe needs to know that you desperately need that in your life, right? The universe needs to know that, and the only way you're going to do that is, one, ask. I always say to manifest, you need these things. You need to say it. You need to see it happening in your own mind's eye. You need to feel it as if you've already got it. And then you need to go get it. But most importantly, you need to believe in what you are manifesting. And you will see it come true. It's happened throughout centuries. Witches have, like myself, starseeds, indigo children, throughout the years, have worked with manifestation for centuries. It does work. You just need to put in the work. But yes, believing is everything. So, yes, definitely. Forgive all those that have hurt you in the past. Leave universal karma to deal with them. When you forgive those that have done you wrong, you take away the power that they hold over you. But if you carry that grudge, you carry that hurt with you, they still own a part of you. They still own control over you. The last thing the people that hurt you want is your forgiveness. They don't want it. They don't want your forgiveness. They don't want your love. They want to control. Even when the relationship or the friendship has ended, they still want to have a part of control. So by hurting you and you not forgiving them, they have still got a part of your control. But when you say, you know what, I forgive him because I'm leaving karma to deal with his judgment. We're all judged for our own words and actions. The people that hurt us, we're not responsible for their actions. We're not responsible for their words. They own that. We don't own that. We only own our own words, our own thoughts, and our own actions. So if we keep our own words, thoughts, and actions positive, then we get positive thoughts, words, and actions back. And that's all we're responsible for at the end of the day. So those that hurt us, we're not responsible for that. We don't own that. We should never own that. Forgive them, walk away, and leave karma to sort them out. It does every single time. So I hope that that has helped. Yes, definitely. Exactly. We need to, the past is called the past for a reason, right? 5 minutes ago was the past. Right here and now is the present. In a minute's time, what I've just said 2 minutes ago is now part of the past. So we should never hold on to the past. I get a lot of people saying to me, can you remember doing a reading for me 6 months ago? I can't remember doing a reading 2 minutes ago. Because when I've done a reading, I do the reading and I move on. Right? Because the readings that I do, they're not my readings, they're your readings. They're not my messages, they're messages for you. So I have no need to hold on to the messages that I give to other people. I simply give my message and I move on to the next one. And that's how we should be in life. We should live for the moment. Remember, the past is the past. The present is the here and now. And tomorrow is never always promised. And when you know that, live in the moment. Live every moment as if it was your last, because our journey here on planet Earth is shorter than you think. So don't waste a second of it with regrets or by holding hurt or by holding grudges. Let the hurt and the grudges go. Leave karma to deal with that. Karma has got all the time in the world to deal with them. We don't own other people's wrongs. They own that themselves. All we should be owning is our own words, thoughts, and actions, and the karma that comes with that. So thank you, Michelle, for asking for a card. I'm going to go on to the last reading of the night, which is Althea 319. So I'm going to pick a card for Althea. Definitely live in the now. For those that haven't received a reading from me tonight, I will be back on Wednesday evening, 10 p.m. UK time, with more live readings. Tomorrow I am doing profile readings. If you want to be added to my profile readings list to receive a mini reading on my profile, simply go to my profile, make sure you follow me first, and that I followed back, and then ask for a card on my readings list post, which is the third pinned post on my profile. I will reply with "you are added to my readings list," and tomorrow I will be doing some profile readings lists. And if you're on that list, I tag your name in that reading so that you can go straight to that reading. For anyone that has missed any of the readings tonight, if you go to my profile, I have my website on there. If you go to the second page on my website by flicking to the left, that's all my social media links. I shared this live readings on my Lady Moonlight YouTube channel and the Mystic Witch Facebook group. The links for both of those groups and all my other social media links are on that page. Okay, so if anyone has missed any readings and they want to look back on the readings, they can go to my YouTube channel. It should be posted by tomorrow. It takes TikTok a little bit of a time to process so that I can download the video to put onto my YouTube and Facebook group. Okay, so let's go to Althea. Do we still have Althea? You're more than welcome. Oh, there you are. Let's pick a card for you, my love. Thank you to everyone for the follows, the likes, the gifts tonight. You are all totally amazing. I have met some wonderful new people here tonight. Thank you so much for all of your support. It really means the world to me. And it helps me do the work that I was called to do. I never come on my lives and ask for gifts or follows or likes, but those that do gift, follow and like, I do appreciate you all. It means the world to me, so thank you so much. Okay, so let's shuffle these cards and see what we have for Althea. Wow, Althea, you have got crystals as well. This is the second time this card has come out. I love the Healing Angel cards because the world needs a lot more healers. The world needs a lot more love and healing energy. So when the crystals comes out, it's asking you to work with crystals. Crystals can give us what we need in the times that we need it. So for example, if we've been hurt in the past, then we can use crystals such as selenite to deflect negative people, black tourmaline, black onyx, black obsidian is the most powerful crystal that you can get to deflect negative energies. Maybe we've been sick and need a lot of healing in our life. Then amethyst and rose quartz for love can bring that healing energy back into our lives as well and can help bring peace. So I feel you have had a lot of hurt in your life. You've had some health issues as well. And this is where crystals can come into their own. All right? Crystals can really, really help. I have crystals everywhere. I have selenite in every one of our rooms to deflect any negative energies. Sometimes just putting a piece of amethyst under our pillows at night can help to calm the mind, to bring healing to mind, body, and spirit. Sometimes holding a bit of rose quartz can bring much needed self-love, whereas once we probably, that self-love was probably drained from us, from others. It's so important when you've gone through hurt or when you need healing to get back to self-love. Self-love is the highest energy. We have different levels of energy that we can work through on the earth plane. The lowest energy is negativity and hurt and harm. When you are working towards hurting or harming or being negative to other people, you are working at a lower level of energy. You're never going to rise to the highest height. The highest, most powerful form of energy is love and light. When you work from a place of self-love, love energy is not all about loving others, giving love, kindness to others. That's not the highest energy. It helps. But to work at a higher level, you must first and foremost always love and respect yourself. Self-worth, self-love. When you start saying, I matter, I am important, I am beautiful inside out, I am me, I'm meant to be exactly who I am, and exactly who I am is the person that I love. And I am determined not to change that for anyone, because this is me, this is who I am. When you start affirming those things in your life, and you start learning to love yourself unconditionally, to do what's right for you first, then, and only then, can you reach out and share that love to others and teach others self-love. Many, many people on this earth are denied self-love because people strip that away from us. Right? People are always too quick to judge, too quick to tell us we're doing wrong, to tell us we shouldn't be this, we should be that. Right? People are so good at telling us who we should be, how we should behave, what we should think, what we should wear, what we should do. But when we strip all of that away and we tell ourselves, I'll do what's right for me, that is when you raise to that higher level of consciousness. That's when you awaken. And that's when the self-healing begins. And crystals can have a huge part in that as well. Crystals can raise our vibrations. We just need to work with both. We need to work on our self-love, but to do that we also need to learn to meditate, to calm the mind, and to work with crystals and healing. And I feel that this is where your future and present path have got to start, is finding your way back to you and finding your way back to self-love. And yeah, self-love is the most difficult thing to do, because, you know, we are programmed to think negative. Do you know, one of the best things that I ever did when I left 50 years of bullying and abuse was not to watch news channels or even television. I haven't seen television programs in 8 years. I've been away from my abusive ex for 8 years. Thankfully, my partner and soulmate thinks the same way as me. He's a male witch, so he's a light worker as well and a healer. And he doesn't do negativity either. So neither one of us watches television. We might play the odd computer game, usually calming games like relaxation games or whatever. Sometimes just to chill out. Sometimes we go for walks in the woods. Sometimes we just meditate. Sometimes we just sit out in nature and meditate and just be at one with ourselves. Removing ourselves from negative things on the news. You just need to look at COVID. When you turn on a radio, you are asked to get vaccinated. You are asked to wear masks, open windows, isolate from family and friends. None of that was necessary. None of it. It went against everything for me. I refused the vaccine. I refused to wear the masks because to do both was detrimental to my physical health. To put vaccines into your bloodstream is putting chemicals into your bloodstream. There is nothing natural about the vaccines. In fact, many people that have had the vaccines have had health issues after it. A friend of ours was the most healthiest pensioner on this planet until he got the vaccine. Now he has long COVID. He almost died with the vaccine. Many people have had blood clots with the vaccine. The evidence is all there. But most people were all brainwashed to think that we were in mortal danger from a man-made disease. So we were told, not asked, told, you need to vaccinate. It was basic brainwash. And a lot of people have probably disliked me for saying that. But I won't sugarcoat what I know to be true, just to please others. I will speak my truth, and I always have done. Many people have said, have you been vaccinated? No. Have you ever worn a mask? No. Will you ever get vaccinated? No. I don't do medicines. I don't do pharmaceutical medicines. You won't ever catch me going into a pharmacist and asking for depression tablets or HRT or whatever. I have the most natural, and I use the most natural supplements that are non-chemical. I don't need the chemical stuff. So getting back to nature, getting back to working with the earth, to working with crystals, that's where the power lies, not in the negativity that we hear from others. Yeah, me too. Even my skincare. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people are so quick nowadays to hurt rather than to heal. And you know what? At the end of the day, we have our own choices. Those that hurt, we can just cut them out of our lives. Cut ties, as you said, you've already cut ties. But what I love about social media, there's a wonderful pair of scissors that you can use to cut negativity on social media. I use it every day. It's called the block button. People come into your social media to hurt you, just block them. Don't think twice about it, just block. People come into my DMs with chat up lines. They get ignored or they get blocked. Do I feel guilty about it? No. Don't come into my DM box. I'm much too busy in my life to chit chat and do chat up lines. I've got a wonderful partner in my life who does all the sweet talking that I ever need in my life and gives me all the love and affection that I ever need in my life. I won't spend useless time on social media with guys that come into my DM box and say, hi, honey, hi, sugar. Do you want a sugar daddy? Do you want a date? You're beautiful. Yes, I know I'm beautiful. I don't need anybody to tell me that. I already have a partner that tells me that every day. But I have that choice. I, you know, I don't like ignoring most people, and where possible, I won't ignore. But if you're coming at me with negativity, I will block without any second thought about it. It's simple block, end off, gone. And sometimes we have to be ruthless like that. It's the only way we're going to take our own power back, is to cut ties with anyone. And, sometimes the people that hurt us most are family. And that can be hard as well when you have family members hurting you. But again, remember, in the whole scheme of things, we are all family. Blood doesn't make us family. I have family members that I don't speak to. I chose to cut them off for various reasons. And I will be sharing my life story on the Purple Hearts Unite Facebook group. So if you are a member of that, you will see that live at some point. But I've had to make the hard decision to cut even my daughter out of my life for various reasons. Do I regret it? No, not in the slightest. Because I refuse to allow anyone to take away my power by diminishing it through hurt or words, actions, or even thoughts. So I choose to just simply block and delete them all and surround myself with positive people. People that support me, I will support them back. But if you're coming on to my profiles, etc., being negative, you're going to get blocked. If you're jumping in my DM box, you're going to get blocked if you're going to be negative. I don't have time for that. My mission on this earth, and it always has been since the day I was born, is to help with readings, to help guide, to help advise. Outside of that, TikTok's not a dating site. So, and I'm not in the market to be dated. I already have a wonderful, wonderful partner who saved me from abuse. He's my world, and nobody else can touch him. So I hope everyone has found my help and advice helpful tonight. Thank you, Rochelle. Oh, thank you. And you're right, medication causes more problems than it heals. every piece of medication that you get from a pharmacy or from a doctor, when you open that medication, as well as the medication, what do you get inside? You get a possible side effects list. And there can be anything from 7 to 10 possible side effects. If you stop to read those possible side effects, why the hell would you even go near the medication? Possible high blood pressure, possible blood clots, possible dizziness, possible fatal, possible loss of life, whatever, possible allergic reaction. Why would you even consider that? Right? If we were to go in a lift that had a caution, do not use this lift because it is broken sign, and we go in and use the lift and the lift falls 20 feet to the floor, whose fault is that? The lift or our fault? It's our fault because we took that chance, we took that risk. Anything that comes with a health warning on it, it's not for me. Before pharmaceuticals came along, man survived quite healthily on herbs and plant-based medicines and skincare. And that's all I use. Natural skincare. All the products that I use, I promote on my website. I love the Avira skincare, but I also have sent away for Filterless Era because I love the ingredients in Filterless Era. So I've sent away for some of their stuff. Yes, it's going to take longer to get those products because they are in America, but you know what? It's worth the wait to get those products because they are natural. And I would rather wait to get the products. In fact, most of the products that I use for my general health and for my skincare, my hair care, usually are from America, and they usually take longer to get here. But I would rather use natural and have that wait. I just order more of it so that I know that when I'm starting to run low of stuff, I can order a month in advance and get that stuff. But it's so worth it. Yep, definitely. So yeah, I've been judged wrong. I've been judged for not having the vaccine. I've been judged for not wearing masks. But let's look at the mask. And let's look at the way we breathe. We should be breathing in through our nose, bringing in oxygen. When we breathe in, we should be filling our lungs and our diaphragm with air or oxygen. So when we breathe in through the nose, our tummy and our lungs should be expanding out the way. When we breathe out, we should breathe out through the mouth because we're breathing out carbon monoxide and toxins. So you don't want to be breathing in and out through the nose because you're going to be bringing oxygen in and carbon monoxide out of the same breathing system. So the proper way to breathe is slow breath in for 5, filling your lungs and diaphragm. So one way to make sure that you're doing that is breathe in and place your hands on your tummy, and your tummy should be coming out. If it's going in, you're breathing wrong. You should breathe in and count for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then breathe out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you're breathing out, you should pull the tummy and the diaphragm in because that is squeezing all the carbon monoxide and toxins out of the body. So that the next breath in is filling the body with much needed oxygen. A lot of us shallow breathe, and a lot of us only breathe through the nose, or some of us actually breathe in and out through the mouth, and it's only short breaths, and we're hardly getting any oxygen into our lungs and diaphragm. That's completely the wrong way to breathe. We should be taking slower, deeper breaths. So I'd like to end this live tonight because it is 2:30 in the morning here in the UK, and I'm going to spend the rest of the evening or early morning. I'm a total witch, so I'm out with the moon. So I'm usually a night owl, which is why my live readings are always sort of at night. But thank you to everyone who has joined me for this live. Thank you for the likes, the follows, the shares. Tomorrow, I'm not doing a live, but I am doing profile readings. I do have a profile readings list on my profile. So go along, follow, like the pinned post called Readings List, and then ask for a card. I will reply to let you know you're on that readings list. And then tomorrow, I go through that readings list tomorrow evening, doing all the names on that list, and I tag your name into your reading on my profile. You'll see on my profile all my past readings. For anyone that's missed anything on this live will get shared to my Lady Moonlight channel. YouTube channel, and also the Mystic Witch Facebook group. You'll get the links to that on my website. All the products that I use myself, all the natural products, are either Avira or Filterless Era. So you'll find all of those products on my website as well. Website link, again, is on my bio. You'll find everything on there. There's about 3 or 4 pages. When you click on my website, the first page is my Avira shop. The second page is my social media links. And then scroll again to the left. The third page is my Filterless Era shop link. And you also get a discount code on there as well for any Filterless Era stuff. So thank you, everyone. You have been all amazing. I have totally enjoyed working with you all. Thank you to everyone who got a reading. For those that didn't get a reading, I am back again on Wednesday evening, 10 p.m. UK time, doing more live readings for you all. I also do a card of the day every day on my profile, which I've just started today. So do keep an eye out on my profile, where I will be sharing card of the day and also otherwise stuff that I share with you all. So I'm going to wish everyone a blessed evening. Have a great night, everyone, and thank you all for joining me. I look forward to seeing you live again on Wednesday evening at 10 p.m. And I look forward to doing the profile readings tomorrow. Love and blessings. Thank you all. Thank you so much, Alicia. Thank you, Julianne. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Amanda. Oh, bless, Amanda. You can get all of the live on my YouTube channel, Lady Moonlight. I will be, once TikTok has downloaded this live for me, I'll be able to upload it to my YouTube channel for anyone that has missed any of the readings tonight. Love and blessings to everyone, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on my profile for the profile readings, and I'm live again on Wednesday evening. Okay, so take care. Have a great night, everyone, or early morning if you're in the UK. Look forward to seeing you all again soon. Love and blessings.